the fighter and the kid. Had to run it back, cause we back at it again. Yeah, we gon' keep it moving like it's never gonna end. When it was Brendan, when it was Bryan, when it was just talking to friends. We got the kid Callen on the left, with the fighter on the right. Ay, had to do it right, cause we coming at you live. Back with the team, had to keep it OG, must see TV. Had to do it. Yes, we did, cause we back at it again. It's the fighter and the kid. Back at it again, it's the fighter and the kid. Back at it again, it's the fighter and the kid. It's the fighter and the kid.
This is really the fighter and the kid. We're out.
Come on, baby. Here we are. It's Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, and you and I. Where are you going to be this weekend? Just real quick.
I'm in Denver for a funeral.
Oh,
I leave today, buddy. That's why we're doing this a little early.
Spokane,
and we're both in black
tomorrow.
for that reason.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we are. For Grandma, who's 96.
98, passed away at 98. So,
98 years old. That's a great run. That funeral should be a
celebration.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. I was talking to my dad. I'm like, hey, do I have to wear black? Because I have this real sick, like, dark green suit. Like, do I have to wear black? And he's like, I think so. I'm like, but I looked it up. And so if it's like a celebration, you should wear a dark color.
Yeah.
Unless it's a celebration, then you can wear fun stuff.
100%.
So I told my dad, I'm like, we're celebrating. She's 98. I said, Dad,
That's his mom.
That's his mom. I said, Dad, the thing that sucks is she died right around the same time the Queen of England did.
Yeah.
Okay? So she got overshadowed this
A little bit.
at 98.
A little bit. Now, I think a green suit is not only appropriate, but mandatory.
And my grandma knows I'll flex on the fam. She knows I'm going to have to flex on the fam.
Correct.
I can't come like regular Joe McGee.
Let me ask you something.
I'm going to flex on
Let me
these
say,
guys.
a man can't work 24/7 forever. If a man can't grind his whole life and then show up in a green suit he paid for with his hard-earned money that was tailored to his hard-earned body.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't think my grandma would appreciate that?
Thank you.
You don't think she's expecting the fuck boy heat?
Thank you.
What up, grandma?
What up?
Now, here's the prom, though, B. Here's the prom.
Yeah.
Here's a little bit of prom. Did a food truck yesterday with a gentleman named Chris Barnett. If you know him, they call him Beast Boy. He's 300 pounds and he can do a backflip and do all this stuff.
I know Chris Barnett.
Yes.
I've watched him many times. He's kind of a taekwondo guy in a weird way.
Yeah, he's a taekwondo guy.
Yeah.
Very athletic.
Very athletic.
Probably my favorite food truck ever. He's such a sweet dude.
Is he?
Yeah, his fiance passed away during his camp.
What?
Dude,
What?
I was crying. It was insane. He has two little boys.
What?
He has one girl, one boy.
What happened?
But his story is amazing. So anyway, the truck was a fish truck. You know, like salmon, whatever,
Yeah.
right? Shrimp.
Sure.
Homeboy here orders, Chris orders the fried shrimp type move.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, I'll have the white fish with rice and I'll do a side of the ahi tuna. The guy goes, we don't have the ahi tuna. And I go, probably better. You don't want to eat ahi tuna out of a food truck, making a slight joke, right? The guy goes, yeah, probably a good idea. And all of a sudden he goes, you know what? We do have the ahi. I'm like, toss it in there. I ate the ahi, and my buddy George ate the ahi. Bro, my asshole is like a Russian cannon right now. It is bombs over.
I saw you. I went, something's up with you. I go, you all right?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I've been guzzling Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
So we'll
You
see. So
don't get raw tuna
dude,
out
of the
food
truck.
It's not their fault.
I fucked up.
Too hot.
It's just not. It's not what they do.
No.
And then I asked Chris. I texted him. I go, hey man, are you having any issues from the food that you ate on my show? He goes, no man. That's why we're at the fried shit. I'm like,
There it is.
smart man.
Now he is a guy who, if you saw him with his shirt off, you would go, whatever. I'm gonna fight that guy, and then he would beat the fucking brakes
He can
off.
dance. He can dance his ass off.
He would
Dude,
beat
just
your
such
fucking face in.
Just such a sweet, fun dude.
Yeah.
Like, Mark takes all the pictures and the guys take all the behind the scene pictures. There's not one picture where he's not laughing.
I know.
He's just such, and then when he's like, even his attitude when I brought up his fiance passing away, which I was like, I'm just curious. I'm not a journalist. We don't have to talk about this. If you don't want to, let's move on to something else. He's like, no, I'll talk about it. And he knows it from a T. Like she had water on her brain. Her brain was swelling and just came out of nowhere. She's having seizures and it was horrible.
Jesus.
And then she passed away quick.
Is he fighting Yoel Romero, or did he already fight Yoel Romero? Because I would love to see that fight.
I think that was a meme that somebody
Okay,
made.
that was a meme.
Like,
Right.
or is there
Because
like
he's-
there was like a
Yeah, because Yoel Romero's
heavy,
been
man. He's
Bellator,
heavy.
right?
I thought he was in Bellator.
Yeah, so
no, I saw that though yesterday.
I thought Chris Barnett was
we've
in.
ruined the fun time about Chris. I
thought he was in-
Yoel Romero's in Bellator, right? He hasn't fought in UFC
I
in quite
thought
some
Chris
time.
was in Bellator.
No.
He's
Chris,
new to UFC though, Chris Barnett.
he has 3 or 4 fights. His last fight was like fight of the
Did not know that.
year.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then he missed weight at 265.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, he's that big?
He's 300. Oh, he said he watched around 280, but
Oh,
he was
Jesus.
talking about like,
How tall is he?
and this adds to my conspiracy that Dana was so mad about. He goes, the doctor came up to me and goes, "You're a pound and a half over," and he's like, "Oh, I'll take a shit and cut a pound and a half. I'll make it." He goes, "No, your heart rate's way too high. Your blood pressure." He's like, "No, I'm fine, dude. Pound and a half. I weigh 280 pounds. This is easy." He's like, "No, I'm a doctor. I know what we're doing here." I'm like, "Oh, dude."
And he's 5'9".
He's small, dude.
Dude, he's not even 5'9".
He's small.
What?
Like 5'8".
What?
Bring up my Instagram. There's a picture of me and him.
Good Lord.
He said 5'8" on a good day.
He goes, the UFC lists me at 5'9",
Oh,
but
that's hilarious.
yeah.
That's a very wide fella. We should probably get on.
So athletic.
Yeah, ridiculously athletic.
Yeah, it's the one
on
where
your story?
Chris has his
But
legs
I
in the
feel
air.
like he's the kind of guy that if he actually was,
Go over.
if he weighed,
There he is.
if he was a certain amount of, see now,
Right there.
Now I look at that guy, and in a million years I would never think he's a killer, and he's a killer.
Stupid athletic. Stupid
athletic.
athlete. Was really good at football.
I bet. I've seen him do all kinds of crazy
wrestled.
shit.
Like he's a savage.
Now,
Savage. So athletic. He's
if-
gonna be the first UFC fighter sponsored by Thicccboy.
if he was in really good shape, I mean, in other words, if he had like the body fat that I do, could he fight at 205, or is his frame just too thick?
I don't know. It's just not.
He doesn't care.
I don't know.
You're
He has so much success at heavy. Like he has over 30 fights. His first fight in the UFC was against Ben Rothwell.
Dude, he does.
Yeah. Short 8-day notice.
Oh my God.
But I was telling him, like, you can, when he fought Ben Rothwell, you look at his demeanor, because I'm telling you, dude, I've been doing food truck, 4 or 5 years? Favorite guest I've ever had. Just his energy, and he's so happy and positive.
Wow.
Dude, it brought me to tears. When he's talking about his wife, I was like, dude,
sure.
I can't believe that your wife passed away, and you're this, like, how just mentally strong you are and how happy you're about life. And he's just such a good dude. And then he was saying, like, if you watch his last 3 fights UFC, he's walking out, he's dancing.
I know.
He can
He
dance.
dances.
He can dance.
Yeah.
His first fight against Ben Rothwell, 8-day notice. He's not dancing, his head's down. And he's like, yeah, man. It was a short notice. I was worried about everything. He's like, it wasn't good.
How did he do?
He lost. I
Yeah.
mean, first fight in the UFC, fighting Ben Rothwell.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I had a very interesting experience, speaking of inspiration and positive attitude.
Just to wrap that up. The whole thing with that food truck, I just don't want to shit my pants at my grandma's funeral. I don't know what to do.
Oh, well,
People say take shots of whiskey
No,
to kill the.
I have the
I
answer.
did it this morning.
no.
I took a big shot of whiskey.
Listen to me.
My girl was like, "Oh, you're an alcoholic." I was like, "Wrong,
No,
bitch.
listen.
Diarrhea."
Listen. Butt plug. I have
Oh
a,
no, I'd rather shit my pants.
hey, I'm going to get you. We're going to start you with a small one. There's a series. And we start small,
You work
and
your
then
way
we
up?
work our way up. And by the time you're at the funeral, you're wearing secretly, because you don't want to be disrespectful.
18 gauge.
You're wearing the 18 gauge.
Yeah, that thing.
You're
is.
wearing the 18 gauge.
You know what it is? It's a hockey puck.
It's well,
I
no,
have
it comes.
just give me a hockey puck.
Hold on, it's pointy, but then we're going to mushroom out. So it's kind of a big old mushroom upside down. There you go. And we're going to go with the 18 gauge right there. Now I want you in crystal. I want you to wear a crystal butt plug.
Nope, I'm gonna
I know
take-
it's going to be a bitch. I'm going to help you with this.
No, I'm gonna take a Calgary Flame hockey puck out at the house and just ram it up my shitter.
That is hard to get out. And I'm not going to get
Whatever
in there
it
with
takes
my
for
little
grandma.
fingers. And
Whatever it
get that
takes for
out.
grandma.
Bubba,
Sacrifices for grandma.
Bubba, I'm going to need you with the 12 gauge. I'm going to help you with that. I need you to pick a spot on the wall and trust me. And I'm going to push that thing slowly right in your shitter because you're my friend.
I don't want the clear one though. All that stuff.
I don't either, but we have to. And I don't
If
either,
that's
but
all
we
you
have
got,
to.
if
And
that's all you got in your bag in your car,
That's all I got.
Why you have them? I don't know.
Either do
If
I.
That's all you got.
I have them for me. I have them for discipline. But for you, you have them for maintenance.
Dude, I can't be shitting at my grandma's funeral.
No,
man.
you
I'm
can't.
worried about it.
No, so
And
let's
then the
get that.
plane ride today.
Bubba, I need you in that butt plug.
And Pepto Bismol doesn't do a lot.
No. I had a wrestling match yesterday, and I got punched in the face.
Why?
All right. I'm doing my next best of was with a guy named Zion Clark. Now, I don't know if you know Zion Clark, but Zion Clark is getting ready for his first professional MMA fight. That'd be Zion Clark. Zion Clark was born with a very rare
wow.
spinal condition.
He has no lower body.
He has no lower body. He has
For the fans only listening, he has no lower body.
literally
The pictures we're looking at looks like he's in quicksand.
yes. Like if you looked at him, it's one thing to have no legs. Zion Clark doesn't have hips. Zion Clark doesn't even have really a stomach. It's
does
like
he have- does
his
he have-
body begins at sort of like his lower rib.
Does he have a
right?
digestive system?
I don't know. I didn't get into that.
You asked none of these questions.
I didn't want to ask those questions because
Groundbreaking questions.
he has the world record. Listen to this guy now. He grew up in foster. His mother, he almost dies on the table as a baby. His mother gives him up for adoption. She can't handle it. Because he was going to die. So they put this little boy in foster care. He grows up in foster care his whole life. But what happens is when he's 3 years old, he's in church and he starts playing the drums. Well, sir, he plays 7 instruments pretty fluently.
Oh, wow.
Piano, drums on another level. I was listening to it.
He's also jacked.
Yeah, he's jacked. He then decided to wrestle and lost 200 matches. The first match he won was in high school as a junior. I was like, wait, did you just get used to being a loser? And he said, no, I didn't. And when I won, that taste of victory. So now he's getting ready for his thing and I'm holding mitts for him. Okay. And then I decide to kind of grab him, to grab him. Now,
While you have the mitts on, and you just
yeah, and then he kind of instinctually, I throw 2 shots at him, and he instinctively moves his head, and does this thing where he pivots off his hands. Now he runs faster than anybody in the world on his hands.
Yeah.
I have a video of it. Fastest runner in the world on his hands.
I'm not even trying to be a dick in any facet.
Yeah.
What's the pool look like that he's competing against? Is it a deep pool with people no legs?
You mean MMA?
Just in general, just in the world. Is there
Of
a lot
people who walk on their hands.
Like, is there a lot of competition with hand walkers?
Well, probably not. But
Here's the other question.
you can
I'm trying to picture
bear
it.
crawl too, and he'll beat you.
Yeah, anybody could compete, but
Some people, I think he runs 13 miles an hour on his hands. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fast. Now here's the.
But hold on, let
I'm
me
not
just-
being shitty. Hold
no.
on. Just
Well, why don't
just
you
help
say-
me out here, B.
Yeah.
When you're holding mitts and you're like you said, you're throwing punch at him.
Yes.
I'm not making fun of this man in any fast. He's
No,
a goddamn, legend.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
Are you on your
inspiration.
knees?
I'm on my knees.
Oh,
You have to
okay.
be on
You're
your
not
knees.
standing up tall.
No. You gotta be on
Otherwise,
your
I was
knees.
like, yeah, what are we doing?
But when I wrestled him,
On your knees.
yeah, he's a fucking. It's as close to a human backpack. We talk about Damian Maya being a human backpack. That's what he is. You're not sitting out and getting away from him. When he wraps those arms around you,
Well,
it's
there's no.
I got choked out. I was like, whoa,
You ever naked choked you?
Yeah, it was a disaster. Now
Did he pin you?
it wasn't. I'm sure pinning. He wrestled. His whole
That's
life.
what I'm saying. I assume he pinned you or he just got your back.
When you've been walking on your hands your whole life, your arms and hands and grip, your tendon strength is otherworldly.
Oh, your body's going to adapt. I bet he
It's-
has a.
It's otherworldly.
Dude, his dick beaters, I bet he has to be careful.
Oh my God. I kept grabbing his hand. I was like, what the fuck?
Big hands?
Yes. And
'Cause I bet they spread out. Too.
he's 95 pounds and that's just that much of his body he was born with. So if he had a normal sort of, if he was born with legs and everything else, he'd be 210 pounds.
You've seen the
Good-looking guy.
You've seen the collegiate wrestler who dominates, right?
One leg. One
Dominates.
leg, sir. Dominates. Well, he was an NCAA champ.
No, there's a guy. No, it's not even with one leg. I don't think there's one with no legs.
Well, he doesn't have. He
Bring
doesn't
that
have
guy
a
up,
hip and stuff
Chin.
like that. That guy with one leg. It's crazy.
Because the people, how ridiculous is society?
Yeah.
They're like, well, it's not.
Oh wow.
They're like, it's not fair, man. He should be at a higher weight class if he had legs. It's like, but he doesn't.
yeah.
So, but that's what he weighs.
It's a disadvantage.
They're like, I know, but how much weight would he have? He has such an advantage because he's so strong. Because he should be at heavyweight without.
Yeah.
You don't have legs.
Well, he don't even have a hand. I think. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. I mean,
Yeah, he's a savage.
People like this, and I said to Zion, I said, here's my problem. You make me feel like a lazy piece of shit. You make me feel like the biggest bitch in the world. This guy has no excuses.
How old is he, B?
He's 24
Oh wow,
and
handsome too,
really good looking guy.
and positive, like
Oh,
good person.
But not only positive, like he's got an attitude. He's like, he's just like,
The glass is always half full.
yeah, man.
Not a joke.
He was really inspiring, but it was also just, he's funny and we had a great time.
He's jacked.
He's
bro.
jacked. You don't
God,
get,
I'd love to see him fuck you up.
you don't get more jacked. Well, you will. because I have it on
I
video.
mean, I really want to. I wish I was his coach.
Well, he made a mistake and hit me in the jaw, and he kind of pulled last second.
with bare knuckles.
Yeah, with MMA gloves. Oh, that hurts so bad. Oh, it hurts so bad. I hadn't been hit in the head. for a
God, if
long
he
time.
knocked you out,
Fuck, dude. I got flash knocked out.
yeah.
I went, ugh. And I was like, oh boy.
So he just mopped the floor with you.
Yeah, he goes, sorry.
He mopped the floor. with
He
you.
mopped the floor.
He mopped the floor with you.
He mopped the floor with
He
me.
was like this.
If he gets behind you, he's gonna wrap those arms around your neck, and you're gonna have
What
some
inspiring
problems.
dude. Yeah. So I assume can't procreate, right?
I don't know. I didn't get into that. We asked really
did
good.
not ask
I
this
wanted to know
question.
how he spoke to himself. I wanted to know what he would say to himself, what he does say to himself when it feels like it's too much. When it feels like, his parents abandoned him. He was adopted. He had no one, but he has this really tight circle of friends that stuck up for him in school.
So I assume he got adopted
He got adopted.
by black family, white family.
A black woman who's incredibly
bless her.
positive
Yeah.
and like kind of religious.
Well,
of course.
that's half the battle there. Because if you're a kid
yeah.
and you're dealt those cards, which
Foster
might be
care.
the worst dealt hand I've ever heard of.
I would
No
agree.
legs and your family gives up on you.
Yeah.
But then you're adopted by this fucking saint
Angel?
of a woman,
An angel?
who's positive and
Yeah.
doesn't view you as a handicap or view you as having some disadvantage. So he had that perspective, and I would be willing to bet she's the main reason for success.
Well, here's kind of what's fucking amazing about this guy. I swear to God, as you talk to him, like I was spending time with him, you're going to think I'm like being dramatic. You actually forget that he has this insane condition because I don't know, he's got that energy, that force, Now, you might want to watch me bear crawl and try to have a race with him.
So the race was you bear calling. Now, could you crab walk?
Yeah, I could crab walk, Bubba.
And he still smoked you.
Well,
Let me see this, Jim.
it's a little astonishing. And so we're going to do a bear crawl. I'm going to race Zion to the dog pound sign right there. Yeah, we're at dog pound.
How about
great gym.
Where the gym where the engine going to the
Look how long his arms are.
Race to me. Race to me.
Right,
By the way,
his reach is 6'5".
my money's on Zion.
Yeah, I'm curious how big he would be.
So his reach is
He's
6'5".
big. Yeah.
He's big. Yeah.
I imagine he's fucking strong too, like on the bench and shit.
Oh, fuck. Crazy strong. Crazy. Well, there he goes.
Oh, well, you're moving so slow, right?
Well, I'm a piece of shit.
I mean,
I'm an old piece
you know
of
what that
shit.
is? Disrespectful. You barely fucking went.
Bullshit. I tried my hardest.
That's not your. There's no way that's your hardest. Your back stiff?
Go back again.
I mean, if I'm Zion, that's insulting.
I don't practice fucking bear walking, bro.
Bear crawling is tough. Like I think
It's not something I practice, but he's beating it
Let's,
anyway.
let's just analyze
Just watch
it to
how
see
fast he
is
goes.
Bryan.
But like,
Yeah, I look
see
like
your
I'm
short
going-
steps.
Yeah, that was lame.
Not grow up at doing.
You know what it
field
was
day?
though? I had gotten hit in the head,
You're a little out of it.
and I'd gotten choked out, and I was feeling shitty. So maybe
Yeah.
that's what it is. I don't know if I do that much better. That looks really
Yeah.
lame though, because I didn't have.
That was tough.
That was shitty
That was
shoes, and I didn't have
disrespectful.
good.
and you're going.
And also, you're coordinating. It's like what is the most efficient way
I
to
just
bear
haven't
crawl?
I don't
Yeah.
practice bear crawling.
No.
And
He
why would
starched
you?
you.
yeah, he's got some speed.
But
So,
it's a good time.
no
you guys
excuses.
get lunch after?
No, because he had to go train for his MMA fight.
In his MMA fight, I assume he's fighting
Well, he's fighting somebody who's in his weight class, who would be 120. Like
oh my god.
Yeah.
What poor 120 pounder when he gets a hold of him?
yeah, it's all your wrestling doesn't work.
Wait,
Now he's lucky it's not K1 Japanese rules where you can kick
Yeah,
in the face.
yeah.
right?
Well, so you're not allowed to kick. So when you fight Zion, you can't kick in the face. You can kick his body though. You can kick the fuck out of his body.
You could also kick his arms, like his elbows.
You can do
and
all
shit.
that shit. Now here's the thing. He's gonna grab your legs. He's got a lot of experience in absorbing that shot and grabbing legs. He trains down with Rampage and all those guys down in
Yeah.
Long Beach.
Yeah. Body
Yeah.
shop.
I think the Body Shop. Yeah. So. He told
yeah,
me
I assume that's what he's getting ready
Rampage
for.
punches him. Rampage.
Rampage's like fuck.
Yeah. Rampage doesn't. A lot of those guys don't take it that easy.
He
They're
probably
just
likes that though.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to be treated different.
Yeah, he's
What a fucking badass.
Oh, goddamn. It was wild. It was
Yeah, I
really
assume
wild.
he's training. Yeah, because that's gonna be the thing. People are gonna try and kick his elbows and arms and shit. So
You know what he
that's
told
how
me?
he's training
He told me though, he hates like when I did the interview, I had to ask him questions he hadn't been asked before because I watched everything he's done. And he was like, for him, it's like, fuck, thank you for asking me these questions that are not orthodox. Because the one thing he gets so tired of is the same fucking question over and over. Where do you find your inspiration?
Well,
and this
but
is
that's
like,
what you.
but
you just said that's
after
what-
a while, it's the same. You're not getting anything. It's like, we get it. He wants to talk about like, how do you talk to yourself when you feel hopeless, or how, where does religion play a factor in your? After a while, you start answering the same questions, and he had this.
I'm
these
just
people
so
following him around.
curious about reproducing, like having
Reproductive
sex,
stuff,
and
that's
then
right.
also
Would've asked some
digestive
original
system.
questions.
I don't want to ask him those questions because I didn't feel like that was available to me, and I
You didn't feel the vibe with him?
Yeah, I feel like those things are.
I wasn't gonna ask Chris about his like before I came in, like Mike and Mike Neal, the head of Thicccboy, was, hey, just so you're aware, his wife passed away. I'm like, I know, dude, I know this.
You're not gonna lead with that.
No, fuck no. But then as we got going, we had such a good vibe. And I was like, we're friends now. Yeah, and I was like, can I ask you about your fiance?
See, I feel that's okay.
He was like, it helps me to heal as I talk about it. He's like, because it brings awareness, because it went 0 to 100.
Yeah.
She had a seizure, and the next thing I know, we're in the hospital, and then my kids are saying goodbye. I was like,
I don't know. For me, like, does talking for you help? Is it
big
neutral?
time. Oh yeah, talking things out, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. It's the right people,
It's the right people.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And for yeah,
I feel like part of what I was writing about with my special is, guys don't have anybody to talk to. A lot of times,
I mean, that's on the guy too, right? Like, it's on the guy to keep
Is it
up
though?
with friends. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, a lot of people fall off, especially if you're not in the same race. Like, I don't talk to my friends as much who I played football with, because we don't have the same
I'm
goals.
saying when you're feeling
a
a
team.
little bit like depressed or sad.
I have some friends. I mean, I
Yeah.
got fucking,
Yeah,
Theo.
of
I got
course.
fucking, Todd Feldman, Mark, my
Yeah.
brother. Really not my brother. But
How long has Ben been fighting
not like
in
that.
MMA, guys?
Henderson,
Your brother?
my brother. He's not. he's
not
not open
sentimental.
like that.
Yeah, no.
He's just like, you'll figure it out. I'm like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jail texted me like,
Yeah.
God, Brendan's trying to get emotional with me again.
Yeah.
Hasn't he learned?
MMA pro since 2001.
2001, sir. Are you fucking kidding me? That's how long that guy. He is so durable. It's weird.
Wait, Ben Rothwell or Ben Henderson?
Ben Rothwell.
Because Ben Henderson's fighting this weekend. I thought you meant Ben Henderson.
I'm talking about Ben Rothwell.
Oh yeah, Ben Rothwell been fighting forever. Legend, really good dude too.
That's insane.
Now Ben Henderson's fighting this weekend in Bellator. Interesting story about me and Ben Henderson. I've told this before on Schaub Show or Food Truck, I'm sure, with me and Ben. When he first started, I was holding the door. It was the first jiu-jitsu gym I ever went in. I was holding the door for him. And he goes, "What's up?" We were friends right away because we're new. And I go, "What's up, bro?" And he goes, "What's up?" I go, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm sure same thing. You're here trying to get to the UFC." I was like, "Me too. It's my first day." He's like, "You'll love this coach, man. His name's John Crouch." And that's where he opened the MMA lab up with. So me and him started together. Me and Ben Henderson, yeah.
Killer.
And he was such a stud.
Yeah.
So
Was
athletic.
he the toothpick guy?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's so crazy.
He stopped doing it though because his kids.
Yeah.
He has the cutest kids. His kids started to put toothpicks in their training now, and he's like, "No, what the fuck."
Why did he do it, and how was it allowed?
First time he forgot, and then realized when he had it in his mouth and knock on, so he just hit it on his lip, and then he won and just kept it going. But you see,
nobody stopped
See
him?
how cute is they can't.
He
they
hit
didn't
it.
know.
He hit it.
He hit it.
That's
yeah.
a gang of kids right there.
His wife fights too.
Oh shit.
Ben's such a good person.
Yeah, he is.
And stupid athletic.
Yeah.
You don't even see how athletic that dude is.
Yeah.
It's,
You told me that a long time.
Dude, I first day training with him, I was like, "What in the fuck?" Remember, I come from D1 football in the NFL at the time, so
you're pretty-
And I was like, "Holy fuck, dude!" And John Crouch,
Why-
like,
why, just his
John Crouch
speed
was like,
and
"He's
his-
gonna be champ." I'm
his
telling you.
speed.
No,
yeah,
just
right.
the athletic shit he's able to do.
Oh, really?
It's like Chris Barnett. Like, dude, you watch his like Instagram, him dance and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Just
dude?
explosive and
Have you seen his head kick knockout?
yes.
Okay. And
It's
the front flip
nuts,
to his
dude.
butt.
Nuts. And he's just like the UFC darling now. And I was telling him it's such a shame because he missed weight by 1.5 pounds because that shit doctor who was in on the conspiracy with Hamzat too. But that shit doctor was like, "No, you're fine on 1.5 pounds." He didn't, he had the best comeback of the night. They were going to give him performance of the night, so he didn't get his 50 grand bonus. How ridiculous. So he's out 50 grand. A guy that really needs 50 grand.
He said something about they took
He
care
said
of
they
him, like,
the
little
discretionary
suitcase.
bonus. Yeah. That's
awesome.
what he said because they
That's
did
awesome.
take care of him.
He's a You can see he's going to be a crowd favorite, man. He's fucking great.
Oh,
You know?
I'm telling you, B. I've had everybody on the show.
He's just
There's
personality
nobody
for
more
days.
likable, dude.
Yeah.
I was blown away. And I said, dude, after this fighting thing, wait like 2 or 3 years before you jump into entertainment because you'll take my job. Like everything you see here, you could
Yeah.
easily do any of this. Dude.
Where is he from?
He originally born in Spain because his dad was in the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
But when he was 5, they moved to Georgia. So he calls Georgia home. Check this out. His family owns a taekwondo gym, so his dad's like 9th degree black belt.
Yeah.
Mom's
I can see the
5th degree
taekwondo
black
he's doing.
belt. Oh yeah,
You know?
his brother, like high level competition black belt, and then he was like, so my brother's like, wheel kicking everybody, knocking him out. He's
Yeah.
like a superstar in Georgia. He's like, so I had to find my own thing. He's like, that's when I started wrestling. He's like, and I was really good at wrestling. And he said it was funny because his dad wanted to go to the NFL, and then he was like, he says funny. He was a sophomore in high school. He's a monster. He's like, I was D tackle, fullback. Like nobody could stop me. I'd fuck everybody. D1 guys, I'd destroy these guys. He's like, then my dad was like, hey son, there's not a lot of 5, 6 D tackles in the NFL, man. We don't want to think about something else.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yep. And then they started fighting, and he's been all over, man. But he said when he was in fighting overseas in Asia, they were like, hey, we need you to get to 320. He goes, so I get up. He goes, dude, I fly out there from Georgia to fucking Japan or China where he was fighting. I get off the plane, like, we're taking all you can eat sushi and filming it. He's like, I fight tomorrow. They're like, yeah. He's like, they just wanted him like this big.
They want the number.
Freak. They want the big freak. And he's like, it was not healthy. Like, you look at those fights when I was 330, he was like, it was not healthy.
Yeah,
man.
that's where I would watch him.
But then what else is great about him is he, I asked him, I said, obviously right now, you're a big deal. Everyone's talking about you. You like all your hard work. He has like over 30 fights. He's been there for a hot second.
Yeah.
I said, so you burst on the scene now, but you've been putting in the work. Look how big he is there. He's hilarious. But he was saying,
Damn, he's big as shit.
and then I said, how far are you going to take this? Like, do you look at like fighting John Jones and Francis Ngannou? Because obviously his height is a detriment at heavyweight with those big boys.
Yes.
You know what his answer was? And I figured most guys go, I'll be champ, guarantee it. But he goes, I take it one day at a time, dude. Once my wife passed away, I don't take anything for granted.
He's got 2 children,
He goes,
right?
I'm just, and he's a great dad. He goes, I'm just trying to get through tomorrow. He goes, so you're asking me the next fight, you asked me I'll get into John Jones. He's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's so far in the future. He goes, I'll get through tomorrow. I'll get on plane. I'll get my kids to school, train. I go day by day, man. It's the only way I can get through, what happened to my wife. He goes, I don't take anything for granted. And you're like, fuck, dude.
I love
You can't
that.
help but fucking love this
How do
dude.
you not love him? Well, that's funny too when you get to know a guy. Like
Look
that,
at this.
You fall in love with him.
Oh, dude, I'm
Right?
telling you. What? Boom!
Oh! Oh, Jesus Christ.
He said it's funny too because he comes from a taekwondo family. His mom and dad and brother, when he got home after that wheel kick, they'll be like, you could have, like they critique everything. They're like, man, if you could, your foot should have been here. Like they critique
Really?
everything. Yeah, they critique everything.
Hey, Mom, Dad.
Yeah.
Thanks, but
Such a fucking good dude.
what? He didn't wrestle in college. He wrestled in high school.
Wrestled in high school,
Yeah.
and then he was like 23 or 24. He was like, school just wasn't for me. He said he was at a club dancing, and he said he'd mix in his taekwondo, like spinning back kicks. He goes, the spinning back kick or wheel kick looks like a dance move. He goes, because I throw it like I normally do, and then I just add a little something to it. He's like, so I'm hammered on the dance floor, sweating everywhere. And these people come to me like, holy fuck, that big dude can move. And they go, hey man, tomorrow's tryouts for the MMA team. And he's like, what time though? 6 a.m. He's like, it is 4 a.m., sir.
Oh, fuck.
I'm like, can you come? He's like, fuck it, I'll go. So he goes, and they're having open tryouts, and he's hitting mitts. He's like, I've never boxed before. I've never done jiu-jitsu. He's like, no, we're sparring. And he's like, well, fuck, I'm doing my, bread and butter wheel kick. Whack! Some dude gets fucking wheel kicked in the head. And everyone's like, holy shit, you're in. He said 5 weeks later, took my first MMA fight.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fucking. That's who was that way? Who was talking about that?
What?
I think it was even Boss Rutan who said he didn't even like. He said he and Mark Hunt kind of taught themselves, or maybe it was Mark Hunt who didn't actually have a lot of training and kind of taught himself.
Boss Rutan. That's Boss.
Okay. But he said Mark
Boss
Hunt
did
too.
a lot
I
of
think.
it. Boss did, a lot of his training himself. A lot of video.
Just
Would watch a lot of
freaky
videos
athletes
with his
and
hand.
just-
Oh, Boss is one of the freakiest athletes ever.
Yeah.
In sports,
Just a giant Dutch dude.
freak. You're in his prime when he's in that fucking sunga.
Yeah.
And Boss mentally, savage. Yeah. Even now, you don't want to fuck with Boss. He will fuck your world up.
Yes, he will.
Oh, he's a savage.
Yeah, he's a
and
monster.
such a personality, dude.
He's the best.
No, yeah, one of the greatest of all
Fucking
time.
best.
As far as athletes go,
Yeah.
I don't care what sport it is.
Yeah.
Boss, top.
He's
10.
got this whole street fighting thing with my buddy Amir Peretz on his YouTube thing, and I think it's doing.
Boss left California when I was going to
he
tour. Then right when the pandemic hit, I was leaving for Boise. When I was doing that theater in Boise.
Did he go
And
to
he was
Boise?
at the airport, and I go, "You're on my flight." And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Oh fuck yeah, man, come to the show." He's like, "Yeah, we will if we have time." He goes, I can't deal with LA anymore, man. I'm out." I'm like, we have a school here. He's like, "I'll still fly back and help with the school," but
Damn.
he was like, "I'm gonna, me and my wife are getting out of here."
Amazing.
So yeah, I think he moved to either Texas or Nashville
Good for him.
or Montana, one of them.
He's great.
You know what I was watching last night? Men over 30 wearing skinny. That is me to a T. That's me. You know what I was watching last night, which was ridiculous? It's on Hulu. It's called Ted. It's about Ted Kaczynski. Gotten really into the Unabomber. You know, I just jump onto one thing.
Sure.
I got really into the Unabomber. A lot of his, he hated like the Industrial Revolution, like was so against it, so against technology. But
Well,
this
he was against technology because he was like, the machines are going to take us over.
correct. And he was very anti-left. He's seen how the left is ruining things, and he went in even back then, which you're talking about when he wrote the manifesto, which I stayed up
In
to
the
2 in the morning.
80s?
I stayed up to 2 in the morning reading all his manifesto. Some of it I agree with, but that was in '93.
Yeah.
93. Now, obviously, the killing extremists. What are you doing? Dude?
Yeah, hey, bro.
Hey, bro.
Don't
Hey,
be sending
hey,
mail.
Hey, don't blow up the guy that owns the computer shop.
Well,
right?
he was trying to kill the people that were spearheading all the research, I think, initially. So he'd send it to like
colleges,
these labs.
University of Utah. His first one was sent to Northwestern. Like a lot of professors, stuff like that. He hated the wokeness when it came to like. He would put into terms like when we call women broads. And he was saying, back in the day, that's like now calling a dude a bro or what's up, man? He's like, so you guys take it as a derogatory term. He talks about other terms like that and how we're getting too sensitive. It's not good. And he mixed that with technology and he's writing a lot of stuff. And so, besides the bombs and killing, so a lot of it was insane, right? But this,
He foresaw how woke Google and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube were going to be.
well, you're talking about a legit genius. Bro.
Controlling all the
IQ
information.
is 165, right?
Yeah, ridiculous.
He was a math,
He was a
math genius. Hold
he was
on.
runner-up in the Fields Medal, right?
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then went to Harvard when he was ready. 16.
yeah. Well, when you're
16, bro.
I think look that up, Chin. I think he was runner-up in the Fields Medal in math, which is the Nobel Prize in math.
And
It's
he would
crazy.
he would tutor kids.
Really?
Yeah, he would tutor kids for money because he didn't give a fuck about money really, but he just do it so he could afford bombs.
Damn.
But they were saying he was so smart. You know, it took him 18 years to catch him.
I know.
18 years because he went to secluded Montana, and his bombs.
Wait. It was impossible to achieve the levels of success he did, and only about a dozen folk in the world understood his PhD thesis.
Yes.
Because he was really a genius's genius. The one guy geniuses regard as geniuses. The problem he couldn't teach. Yep, this is extremely typical for people who are ultra smart, and not because they necessarily have a form of autism. In order to communicate, both the speaker and the hearer have to share enough conceptual knowledge. Blah blah blah. But I guess he. There is no way in maybe 7 to 10 years of entire cohorts that get one single student could even begin to talk the same language.
Yeah, it's frustrating for him because he was working on such a different frequency.
Wow.
He couldn't express his feelings to people and then respond back.
Damn.
And then if they weren't at his level, he felt like everyone was stupid and didn't add value to his life. So he had this horrible anger issues.
Yeah.
And he hated everybody, right? But what was interesting about him too is he was so smart. Like even his brother said this. He was like, the problem is you have the smartest guy in fucking North America with this, ideology. Like he wants to destroy, technology. So the problem is he's so fucking smart. So his bombs, you know what he do with his bombs? They didn't catch him for 18 years. The most expensive manhunt ever in American history.
Yeah.
He would write, this is such a savage move. He would write letters to the FBI and go, suck my cock. And then put the address where he was going to bomb it. They couldn't stop it.
Whoa.
Because they couldn't find it. So he just taunt the FBI and be like, you guys are so fucking stupid. He's like, how have you not caught me? This is 15 years in. He's
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
his most famous one, he put FBI, suck my cock.
And
So he's a savage. So the thing is with his bombs, so you couldn't pick up where he was doing it, what region he was doing it. He's doing it in Montana, which me and my son drove to. My son's like, get me out of here. I'm like, pipe down, because Dad's into this weird stuff.
Yeah.
But his bombs, he would go to like yard sales and buy like forks and knives and metal and then break it all off. So he would use like common things for the bomb. So you couldn't, if he was using a really particular,
His brother, I think, saw the writing and said,
it's his fucking, I mean, I act like I'm cheering for him. No, his cunt mother-in-law. I'm sorry, sister-in-law.
but she's not a cunt because she's,
Well,
because she,
you know what?
she stopped him
I'm
from
going off the
killing
movie.
people.
I'm going off the movie. Yeah, she's not a cunt. She actually did a service there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey, bro, you terrorist?
Does he have a GoFundMe? No, wait, what? No, I don't have Unabomber merch.
Bro, I don't
No, I don't have Unabomber.
like the way you're
No, I'm
talking
not buying
about Ted
I'm not making
Kaczynski.
Unabomber merch. What are you, crazy? What are you doing? No, come on, dude. He killed people.
Man.
Killed 3 people, 17 months.
Are you good at math, dude?
So, but the thing is yeah, his
What's sick about that
His
though is
his
that
sister-
I get when people go, there's something weird in your.
he's just such an outlier, and it's so strange
so my
to me.
my ex was watching when she watched Narcos, and when the first one when they
She fell in
killed
love with Pablo Escobar?
she did. She was like,
Don't get me started on Pablo Escobar. Complete.
She was like, God,
terrorist.
I mean, I know he's terrible, but God, I just hated seeing his wife, and he was such a badass.
No. That's Hollywood making it seem.
He's the worst human being of all time.
A complete sociopath.
He's
his
so
wife,
bad you can't
his wife
believe
was
it.
an awful person.
Yes,
They're all bad.
They're so bad you
They're
can't
all
believe
bad.
it.
They're all terrible
why? Because he
people.
bombed a fucking plane full of innocent people.
No, beat that. Listen, you're talking
He's
with
the
Pablo
worst.
Escobar. You're talking about legit terrorists.
Yes,
would
he
blow up,
killed children. He's a child killer.
Dude, killed children. One
Scumbag.
One of the FBI agents who was
Very happy
American.
with Mark's legs. Very happy.
Me and
I'm
Mark got
sorry.
those jeans in Ontario.
Leg break. Leg
But,
break. Those are not skinny jeans because those are the biggest legs I've ever seen.
Those
Gone.
are baggy jeans. Those big legs.
Fantastic legs.
They're Jinkos. That's cool.
Very
but
happy.
No, they're Jinkos. But
Jinkos?
Jinkos, which is a really baggy jean. No, the thing about Pablo Escobar is he would blow up. I mean, several. You're talking about 6 to 7,
Yeah,
8.
people were
It would
objects.
be like blowing up Target here. He would just blow them up because he want them to not send them to America.
He wanted to change.
asylum.
He wanted to change the laws in Colombia,
So they
couldn't
send-
extradite him.
Yes, that's all I cared
Yeah.
about. So listen, so when Rogan had that picture of his mugshot,
Yeah.
even I'm like, "Do you got terrorists on your wall?" He's like, and I'm like, when you look into him, I know we like glamorize and we like romanticize about, dude. You're talking. You
worst.
might as well have Bin Laden on your
Yeah.
wall. This guy is a terrible human being.
Do you know who-
terrible
do you
human?
know who they-
And then what they would do? Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. What they would do is Pablo Escobar and all the guys, El Chapo, all these fucking scumbags do the same thing. What they do is they have all that money, right? They have more money than God.
Yeah.
And the rats are tearing through it. So they donate back in the community so the community would be on their side. I'm like, he's actually a
He's
good
Robin
guy.
Hood. He's Robin Hood.
He's a good guy. Look, he built this soccer field. He built this housing unit. Look at the soccer field he built for us, all that stuff. So then what the community would do is they would snitch on when people come in to try and catch him. So they're working for him. They think he's a good guy. They have no idea what animal they're dealing
Yeah,
with.
he was a king.
Complete sociopath. Complete sociopath.
Yes.
But back to the fucking Ted movie on Hulu. It's such a good movie. If you're into the Unabomber, it's a little slow. And if you don't know all
This
the
is
facts,
a documentary, not a
no,
movie.
it's a
Oh,
movie.
Okay.
Here's what's dope about the movie. I was in the second. Me and my girl had nothing to watch, and I'm like, "Yeah, you want to try it?" She, I don't really know about it. I'm like, "Don't worry, I'll fill you in." Click. Never filled her in. But
Bait and switch.
I do the
I
same
said,
thing.
I said, "Don't worry, I'll fill in the gaps." I said, "I got my black
My
belt."
girl
in-
doesn't want to watch House of Dragons. See, I don't like dragons.
so good.
I'm like, well, just sit next to me and cuddle. Because she wants to watch something funny,
Yeah.
like a fucking rom-com.
Can't.
I'd rather be at the dentist.
No, if I'm not
I
learning something, I'm out.
But just cuddle with me. I want you to see that this is important. Goosh. Episode 3, goosh. No catch up. She's like this.
This one's a
out.
funny episode.
I tell my girl, I'm like, "Don't worry, I'll fill in the blanks for you. There's gonna be a lot going on." I feel like click. Then 20 minutes later, she's all, I'm like, "Fuck yeah, here we go, baby." So the thing is when I was sold on it, is they do a little narrative before. They filmed this on the exact property where Ted Kaczynski stayed.
Oh,
They
shit.
film it in his exact location. Yeah, they remade his little hut. and they got all the permits, and I was like, oh, say less. And then when there's the narrating is from his manifesto, from his journals, they found like a journal, 15 years, over 6,000 pages.
Wow.
To the T, he would write down how he killed the people, why he did it, what materials he used, like was so detailed. Jesus. And then he was so fucking smart. If we could have just changed the trajectory of his fucking pathway, he'd be
it's almost like what would happen
ally.
if you and I befriended him when he was 14 and stayed friends with him, and we included him in our group.
Yeah, what if he gave Hitler that art scholarship?
Yeah,
that's what set him off.
That's
dude.
right.
So
it's a really good question.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like one move thing, and he's this way instead of this way.
Yep.
Dude, he was so fucking smart. He writing this code nobody could figure out, and it was a code. And then once they figure out, like, holy fuck. A few people in the world know the code, but he was fluent in it. It would only write numbers. It was just number code.
What?
Full book in numbers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. You're dealing with a fucking savage. But then even he went to recluse places.
How about using him in jail right now for things, right? Like it's like.
Well, we'll get to. They think they're punishing him. We'll get to that. Oh. So when he's flourishing, so when he went to Montana, he wanted to be recluse. He wanted to get away from everybody, right? And he had no money. But the way Montana works, if you squat on property for 7 years or longer, it's yours, which is insane. But so he had that place. Well, the problem is they started to work around him. Like they wanted to, the lumber and build shit, and people would drive their snowmobiles and motorcycles. Mm-hmm. And when he would hear a sound, like if a plane flew over, he'd get his gun out and shoot at the plane. He's insane.
Oh, he's crazy.
Now when they arrested him because of his wonderful sister-in-law, when they arrested him, they diagnosed him as schizophrenic paranoia, but they said plead to insanity and we won't give you the death penalty. He refused to. He's like, I'm not insane. I'm the smartest. And there's a documentary on Netflix, 3-part series, where they're pleading with him. His defense lawyers are like, dude, just say you're insane. He's like, no, I'm the smartest fucking guy in this building. I'm not insane. I just don't agree the way the fucking world's going. It doesn't make me insane. Like, just plead insane. It's going to be so much easier. He's like, then fucking kill me. I'm not insane. I'm the smartest guy in this fucking room. And then they went behind his back, pled insanity. He fired them all, represented himself. Yeah. Savage. Wow. So they put him in prison, right? Isolated. He gets an hour a day to walk, whatever. Homeboy flourishing. This is all he's ever wanted.
All he does.
So they said he writes like.
That's how he was. That's how he was.
That's all he wanted. He just wanted to be left alone. And in there, there's no technology. There's no phone. So he sees nothing. So he's as happy as a clam.
He's just right.
So you gave him an 8-year life sentence. He's flourishing.
Is he
Daddy.
working on math problems or something?
No. He writes. So he has a fan base. I'm not part of this fan club, guys. Come on, man. The guy killed people. This is insane. What are we talking about here? But
you're a groupie.
You're right. Yeah.
You're a Unabomber groupie, dude.
We're called the Bombers. No, but he
coming with a jacket,
dude. You read his manifesto.
Oh, dude, I was ready.
And got something out of it.
I was ready to run through a brick wall. The bomb on my chest.
You actually got something out of it, and you're gonna fucking break him out of prison.
No way, no. He'd be upset. He's flourishing in there.
There's a sick thing where I know you were fantasizing about seeing him in Montana and being like, "Hey, I know who you are. Just so you know, I want to learn from you."
I'll be one of your soldiers, and he'd go, "You're too stupid. You're too stupid, right?"
I'll talk to you.
I go,
I'll make you laugh.
I go, I know. I'll just sit in silence. I won't bother you. No, not gonna work. Because you're too stupid, right?
I have to kill you.
Is your IQ over 160? I go, I don't know. He goes, I'll tell you it's not. So here's what we're gonna do. Don't come back to my prison cell, right? I go, okay, well, all right.
We could play chess.
They say never meet your
I
heroes.
crush you every time.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, he'd be like, "You're too stupid to be around me, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're right."
And you're not. And we want to repeat. He's not in his fan club. He doesn't write him letters.
No, dude, I'm not an exclusive member of the Bomb Squad.
He doesn't write
this is insane.
Under a fake name.
Come on,
Bond and Schaub.
Oh,
Under Bond and Schaub. My pen pal name is Bond and Schaub.
What are we talking about here, dude? But he was, to be honest, like he was a bit of an incel because he could never get a girl. So there's conversations him with his mom. And he's like, Mom, you know I've only kissed 2 girls in my life. I've never had a sexual relationship in my fucking life. You know that makes me feel. And his mom was like, why are you telling me this stuff? I don't know this. He goes, who the fuck else am I gonna tell? He goes, I have nobody to talk to. I don't talk to anybody.
It might come down to that, dude. Yeah. It can come down to that, you know.
Well, the movie does a great job. They allude to it a tad, and this is where you really got to have a black belt in Unabomber to understand this. One of his biggest kind of hiccups was he was so mad at women. So he was working in Montana on like a lumber yard or whatever, and he was scraping the wood, you know. Mm-hmm. And she owned her dad. It was a family-owned business, but the woman was his boss. She drives by on her ATV and goes, "Hey, Ted, you're moving the saw towards your genitals. You got to go away from me, otherwise it's gonna clip your nuts and you're gonna be fucked." And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. This is real." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't take advice from women. If you have a male advisor, please have him advise me because I don't listen to women." And she was like, "I own the fucking place. You're fired." And he goes, "Again, you just fired me. I don't give a fuck. I don't listen to females." Okay. You're like,
so he wasn't all there.
Well, he just had such an animosity towards women because obviously they didn't like. So it's like the same thing. Like these, you know, this to me, this is a representative of society right now. Like when you think about it, you know, there's guys who report like hot OnlyFans girls to the government so they get taxed. And if they don't pay their taxes, they get shut down.
Serious? Mm-hmm. Who are these guys?
There's a group of incels.
These are guys who hate women.
That report, or you know, there's...
Dave Rubin's here?
Huh?
Dave Rubin's here?
Let's take a break, guys. I am going to be this weekend, Spokane Comedy Club. Let's go. Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Spokane, Washington. Tacoma, Washington the weekend after that. I come right back up. I got to get my tickets. Fuck, I haven't bought my tickets yet. September 29th. September 30th, October 1st, Bridgeport, Connecticut, Stress Factory, October 13, 14, 15, Schaumburg, Illinois, Chicago Improv, October 27, 28, 29. There it is. Let's talk a little bit about CBD, okay? Now, listen, I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works, but Next Evo Naturals was developed by Smart Sorb Technology, which is clinically proven to help your body absorb CBD 4 times better than regular CBD oil. It really is about what you absorb, not what you eat. Because oil doesn't mix well. It doesn't mix with your water-based body. It doesn't just mix with your water-based body. It works faster too. And when you feel stress coming on, you don't have to worry about wondering if it's working, okay? So Smart Sorb Technology improves CBD's ability to be absorbed. It gets in your system in as little as 10 minutes. Most CBD oil found in tinctures, gummies, and capsules achieve between 2% and 10% absorption, which means that 90% of what you think you're getting is actually wasted. Next Evo Naturals are scientifically formulated to deliver more CBD in a way your body can actually use and fast. They're proven 29 times better absorption in the first 30 minutes. Whatever the case with CBD, it does seem to truly work on a lot of things, including a friend of mine whose son was suffering from seizures. You know, you can say whatever you want, but, you know, he swears by it. So they're vegan, they're GMO-free, they're gluten-free, they're THC-free, so you're not going to be high. And they're derived from 100% U.S.-grown hemp. So stop wondering if CBD is right for you. Try Next Evo Naturals capsules, gummies, mints, and topical creams. Clinically proven to be better absorbed by your body. Get 25% off your first order or $40 or more at nextevo.com with promo code FIGHTER. That's 25% off at nextevo.com, promo code FIGHTER. nextevo.com, promo code FIGHTER. Listen, if you're going to take supplements, you better know where they're sourced. You better know where they're coming from. You better know that it's a very reputable company. How about a company that was started by people that started by taking the actual supplements themselves and still do today? Even I don't know, people like Joe Rogan, who sold his company, but still takes Alpha Brain. Seen it with my own eyes is as recently as, I don't know, a month ago. All right. So when it comes to your focus, when it comes to your memory, Alpha Brain is the top seller. You know, there's times when you're so into what you're doing, you can't think about anything else. Times when you're like in that flow state, you're focused. Well, psychologists call that zone the flow state. Alpha Brain from Onnit is the ultimate way to get there. It is a nootropic supplement with over 1 million bottles sold. Okay. And that's the one thing I would always say is like, why do you take Alpha Brain? I'd ask Aubrey Marcus or Joe, and they'd be like, well, because it works. Brennan takes it every time we do a podcast. It works. It promotes cognitive functions, including memory, mental speed, and focus. And it can help you remember names, zero in on complex tasks, think more clearly under stress. It contains amino acids and plant compounds that promote the brain's release of alpha waves. That's how it works, which are associated with greater creativity and productivity. And at the same time, it supports neurotransmitters, chemicals that relay information in and out of the brain. So if coffee and energy drinks make you jittery, you can rest easy knowing that Alpha Brain is caffeine free. You're not going to get jittery. All right. Save up to 10% on your order by going to onnit.com/FATK. That's onnit.com/FATK. All right. We got Dave Rubin here. Dave Rubin of the Rubin Report. Dave Rubin, my friend of the show. And Dave Rubin, who I loved your book. Don't burn this book.
Thank you. Are we going to even do a show? We just did a show without.
We just did it. Well, we get into this politics.
What did we just do?
Because
I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
Well, but Dave, you're hanging out with DeSantis. You're hanging out with these people. So I get all my inside scoop. I would go to his house for like dinners, and it'd be just the smartest motherfuckers, but the movers and shakers. And I'd get all this inside information.
And you always played smart very well.
I play smart.
Get there, yeah. You'd
play
pretend
smart,
you were
Bubba.
smart, and you'd go to the bathroom, and people would be like, he might.
We
be
like that
smart.
guy.
Or
That's
he's
right.
an actor. What's the deal?
And
here?
if they started to get, they'd be like, I'd start making them laugh. Then I do a dick joke.
So yep. Now,
Excellent.
Brian was smart. Got the smart people water, right? Like
I got him water.
DeSantis, you got him water.
At the end of the night,
sides.
that's what I was doing.
Water boy. He's the water
what I
boy to your
was doing.
fancy dinners.
Yeah,
That's correct.
You are a great house guest, by the way, because you always bring a great bottle of wine.
Yes.
You guys, you don't make a mess. Very pleasant.
And he'll dance, he'll entertain. Like, you don't have to do any work if Brian's
Have
around.
we done any dancing?
We've
in
not
my
done
house?
any
I don't know
dancing,
about
but
that.
that's
a
because
couple orgies. But,
well, we got the orgies for sure. The orgies for sure. My fiance, soon to be my wife, is.
Oh, I got the invitation,
so in
Pete.
love with
We didn't
her.
even talk about this.
I know.
Just fire off invitation, a wedding. I'm like, what?
I know.
It's the first time
not a
hearing
wedding.
of it.
I'm eloping, and then I'm having a party. If you're in town,
yeah.
If you're in town,
That
but
is-
you are not.
But also
gonna be.
bring
I don't
the
play
fa-
I don't do that to
honestly-
people because otherwise now you got to fly all the way across the country.
honestly, I'm here for 24 hours right
I
now.
know.
I don't want to be
You don't
here.
wanna
I'm
come to
happy to
LA.
be here with you people, but I hate
But you
this
hate
place.
Cali.
I hate Cali.
I
hate Gavin
You're never coming back
Newsom.
to.
I hate
You never come
Eric.
back to LA.
If this is the last time I'm here, it will be a joy. My life will have gone right.
You
hate
love
this
Miami.
place. I love Miami. I love Florida. I love freedom. I love lizards, iguanas. I got frogs in my pool. I love it.
Yeah, fake
it's
asses.
sunny. Everything's alive.
You have a
You guys
baby.
know how dead it looks here? Do you see that when you're? I mean, you're in a nice spot.
Well, I'm in
like Malibu
Calabasas,
is,
and I live out here.
but it's
Malibu
still
here.
it looks pretty freaking dead. Like, compared to Florida, it's green. It's alive.
Yes.
The humidity, you get a little glisten on the skin. You said I walked in. You said your skin. It's Florida,
You
man.
look
I
good.
know you do look
Florida.
good. You look better. Than
I haven't
us.
taken my eyes off your hair this whole time.
Oh, his hair, dude.
There's something about Dave, and it might be wealth. It might be just success in general. It might
Genetics.
it might be being on the right side of history where he's one of the investors in fucking Rumble.
Yeah.
Which
Did a
you
couple
came to me and
things
said,
right.
"Hey,
I
you should
did.
invest," and I was like,
I can't believe you
did.
didn't invest in that, B.
I didn't have.
I need to give you my number, Dave. I've been so into it.
Yeah.
I've been
Well,
so
let's talk
into
about
it.
Rumble.
You really
for a
dropped the
second.
ball. Let's
I
focus
dropped the
on
ball.
Oh, my
that. I mean,
God.
it's about 3 years ago. I said, Brian, I got this thing cooking.
Yeah.
Locals. We're gonna do something with Rumble. Like it's all happening. I don't need it. We didn't even need money, but I was like, I wanted to get my
Going through it. I don't know if
friends.
you know what the California divorce laws are, but you
They're not good. They're not
you
good
tend
for-
to.
But hey, B, how did you not drop your boy, Colonel? Just a crumb.
Yeah, you didn't even say.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know you're part of Rumble, and I've
I
been
didn't know what
negotiating
Rumble
with
meant.
him.
Actually, if I remember correctly, I said when you said you couldn't do it, the divorce, and I said, well, what about Brendan? And I think your quote was, "Fuck that guy."
Fuck
Yes,
that guy.
that's
Fuck
what
that
you
guy.
said. Yeah,
I said,
yeah, yeah.
fuck that guy. He's got enough money. Tell me about. So the Rumble
Yeah.
it just went public.
It just went public. I'm going tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. to NASDAQ to ding the bell.
It's so weird you're here.
I'm dinging the bell, man. Yeah.
And so it feels like Rumble is going to be as big in many ways as something like YouTube because people
Yeah.
are so.
Hey,
fed
B,
up.
do you know who they've signed? Can I fill them in? So they have Andrew Tate.
Yep.
pretty big. I don't know if you know him. So Andrew Tate's massive.
Ridiculously
They have
massive, yeah.
Russell Brand. Ever heard of him? One of the most brilliant minds in the world.
He's
right?
fantastic.
Yeah, monsters.
Yeah.
Monsters.
Well,
so you've heard of Russell Brand?
yes, I have.
Gets all the references.
When you censor people,
Yeah.
when you do it anonymously, when your rules are very hard to follow, and when you ultimately are the arbiter of free speech,
Yeah.
you're
going to create another market, and that's what I love about.
But it's also with YouTube, it's the algorithm where there's no gray space. It's very black and white. So if I said something like, anti-Nazi or that gets flagged just because that word was said, even though you're not an advocate of whatever you're going to say, vaccines, COVID lockdowns, whatever it is, that gets picked up in the algorithm.
The problem is none of it makes any sense, and that's by design. You know what I mean? Like the confusion of all of it is by design, so that you can never really pinpoint, oh, this is the bad guy at YouTube, this is the trick at YouTube or anything else. So we know when there are months when suddenly, like my channel, literally 2 months ago, we had our best numbers ever. Then suddenly we have our worst numbers ever. And it's like, that's not, or we all know, we've been in this game long enough. You know when you're doing good stuff and it's resonating. I just finished up a freaking massive sold out book tour in every city I go to, and suddenly my numbers plummet.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, that was interesting. How come you're not on the New York Times bestseller list?
I should have been number 2 this time. I mean, that's the thing.
You can see it.
They fuck with everything. Numbers, right? So New York Times, I should have been number 2. Anyone can fact check me on this. It's all there. And if you combined audio with actual physical books, I would have been number 1, but they do it separately. But they didn't even put me on the list. They put me on the first time, which they weren't happy with. I should have been, I think, number 3. They put me at 11. Nobody cares about any of this nonsense except to show that if they're screwing with numbers, sales numbers, right? It's a legit thing. You think they might be messing with the news?
Yeah, how far do they go? Or silencing, or also, and we know this for a fact, like with the COVID stuff, misinformation. Well, now we know that those people that you banned and kicked off said it was misinformation. We know it's not misinformation. And now it's all good, but they still didn't unban those people. So what is the agenda here? I'd love to hear it.
Joe Biden, if you get the COVID vaccine, you will not transmit or get COVID. That's Joe Biden in June of last year.
Is that misinformation?
Is that misinformation?
I think so.
I think he's still on the Twitter.
Right, but for me...
And he just came out on 60 Minutes, said the COVID pandemic's over.
And then Fauci was like, no.
Fauci's like, dude, you're fucking up my money. What are you doing? Exactly, How dare you? I got to sell some fucking books, President.
But if they came out and said, you know what, we fucked up, and what happened was we were learning as we went along, I'd be like, I get it. You're human. But there's none of that sort of mea culpa.
There's no humility.
There's no fucking humility.
And that's my problem with Newsom. He puts his nose high and he's like, we did everything right. I'm like, there's no way you can lay your head down at night and think you handled this the correct way.
Let me say, in that I'm getting on a plane to get out of this dystopian nightmare in a few hours, Gavin Newsom is the evilest, soulless lizard person, horrible human being, if he even qualifies as a human, in the world.
Can I push back on that for a second?
Yes.
Is it
He's
possible?
handsome. Who do you got?
He's handsome.
Who do you got? Oh, yeah, it's the hair.
He's fucking handsome.
Dave, hold on.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
No, if he was ugly, this would be so much easier to hate on him.
You both
He's fucking handsome.
have similar hair, so it's all good. Is it possible that Gavin Newsom is maybe, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, is it possible he's not dealing with a lot of mental horsepower? Is it possible he's not that
Is that
smart?
my fault?
And
Then don't run for fucking president.
Well, but I always feel like I can finish his sentences because he's just touting. It's almost like he's reading from a textbook.
Yeah,
right?
nothing's original.
No. And so I know what he's going to say. So global warming, know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
COVID, know what you're going to say. Gun control, know what you're going to say. Roe v. Wade, know what you're going to say. I know what he's going to say. So you've got this mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And I've actually never, and I've tried, I'm trying to be charitable, I've never heard him really speak from his heart.
Wait,
and I know people that know him well.
Is this your defense of him, that he's
that's a
basically
terrible,
soulless, vapid robot?
That he's a machine.
I will.
I don't know that he's evil. That's an evil genius. It sounds like he's probably not a very smart guy.
No, he's evil. I'll tell you why.
Just
he's
ambitious.
Evil.
Fucking tell him.
Yes. Because everything this man touches.
Look, he's going, fuck. Hey, take it easy.
No,
You know
dude.
what I love? The reason I like you guys, there's many reasons, but the red pilling that has gone on with you guys that was seen in real time, which is exactly what happened to me, just maybe a little bit earlier. It's like, it's very clear where you guys are at. And it's clear where, like, someone like Rogan's at on it and where Bill Maher's on it. Everyone's on that
I'm
freaking
responding
path.
to evidence.
Yeah,
I'm not red-pilled. I'm responding. I am, like you say in your book, I am an old school liberal.
Yeah.
I believe in gay marriage. I believe in legalizing drugs, or at least definitely marijuana. I just believe in the Constitution.
You believe in reality. That's basically
Yes,
it.
that's all.
Basically
And
it.
I think most
Reality.
people are that way.
When we were being told that even saying that this COVID pandemic could have been started in a Chinese lab, and then we were being told that if we said that, we were racist. Those kinds of things, when you start demonizing
Brian, they did
me
that
as
to
a
your
human
president,
being.
Bubba. They ostracized the president of the United States because he said, man, I think this was leaked from a lab. It's the Chinese flu, right?
They call
And
it
they're like,
Kung Flu. And frankly,
which is hilarious.
and frankly,
And it's hilarious.
joke.
He's a comic. And also, I don't know what they lock us back down. I'm gonna storm a fucking Whole Foods. I'm telling you, man. I'm that.
The
they
fact
push me
that
to
this
the
is even on your radar, that a lockdown could even affect your life.
Monkeypox.
You know what's
Now they're
going
pushing
on.
monkeypox.
Monkeypox. Just stay out of bathhouses having orgies with people that are having sex with monkeys.
why? Boring. Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you, man. I think that it's obvious you have made a real impact in a business on kind of just going, this doesn't make sense to me.
It's basically I exist in reality.
Yeah.
I exist. There are basic truths. There are differences between boys and girls. Like basic shit that we all know. We're all roughly like within how many years? How many?
I'm
I'm
35
younger,
years old.
years.
I'm 35 years old.
I mean, I'm young as shit. But
No,
yeah,
no.
Sure.
I'm 55.
No, I feel like you're so you're
Yeah.
55. I'm 46.
39.
Okay, so that's a nice like Gen X. Like you're a little bit ahead of me on that. You're a little
Physically,
bit behind me on that.
I'm younger than you.
I mean, you lost to a guy with
Biologically.
You lost to a guy with no legs, but yeah.
I see what you're doing on Instagram. Always punching people and
Yeah.
kicking things. And no, it's very impressive.
Whatever I can.
Yeah.
Whatever I can.
But the point is,
As long as you
we
follow me.
our age people should be in charge right now. And instead, we've got these geriatric buffoons. And I don't mean that to make fun of old people. Thomas Sowell's 93 years old. You get him out there, I'd vote for that guy.
The guy I told you about who wrote
Yeah.
that white.
Oh, I got that book.
I
for the plane
recommended
today.
Black Rednecks and White
About
Liberals.
that
Great
book
book.
for the plane today.
If you're looking to get to the end of the road, that's
Yeah.
the book, and just finish it.
He's
and
a
you-
towering
I have that and
Yeah.
the Unabomber's manifesto.
different end of the road.
Different end of the road.
all interesting. All interesting.
Yeah. But keep going.
But the point is that our age people should be in charge right now, right? We have a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of world weariness. We're still physically okay. Instead, we're being led by freaking Pelosi and Biden and even Trump and everything. Like these upper 70s, 80s.
Dinosaurs.
Get out of the way.
Yes.
That is part of the problem.
Yep.
They cannot let go. And I don't mean that like old people cannot be good, because
Yeah.
of course they can, and there's a lot to learn. But man, they have to get out of the way. And the Gen X thing, where we put a lot of the shit to bed too. Did you guys grow up with any real racism?
No.
It was like just simply no. It
No.
was done.
I didn't
It's
hear
not
the
cool.
N word going to school. I mean, people did, and I'm not saying racism didn't exist, but certainly you were taught, and I'm 55, I was taught from day one that treating somebody for the way they look or for these traits.
But also for my age group, our heroes were all black, like Michael Jordan.
Yes, all
like
of them. Every
Bo
freaking
Jackson.
poster in
Yeah,
my
every poster.
bedroom. Every poster in my bedroom was either a black wrestler
Correct.
or a black NBA player. Basically,
Correct.
what was the number one show 1989 in the world? It was the Cosby Show. A father who was an obstetrician and a wife who was a lawyer, upper middle class. Family people, they wouldn't put that show on now because it would be too against
The narrative.
what the system wants
Yep.
you to see.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty whacked out. Putting aside Cosby.
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
little friend. But also to your point, Dave, is like what you're doing. I think the majority, and I know because I see it because I travel so much as a comic. I'm touring everywhere. Most people are in line with you. The
Yeah.
majority of Americans are in line with you. But on social media, the loudest, these extreme left and right, especially the extreme left who control a lot of these platforms and are so loud on there, people think that's the majority if they're caught up in that social media world. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, that's not real. They're
I mean,
loud as fuck.
Let me ask you both a question. Chin, bring up USA Today's Women of the Year. And I want to ask you, as somebody who knows
How many of them are women?
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Did I just-
well,
Yeah.
well, in fact,
I already know where this is
I'm
going.
glad you asked.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked because we've got now. Let me just see. Rupali Desai, this attorney defended the integrity of the 2020 presidential election and helped launch a recreational marijuana program. I guess that's worth it. Now hold on. Heather Cock Richardson, in her popular daily newsletter, Letters from an American, she empowers marginalized groups who she says are more important than ever to the political landscape. Meaning, she writes a newsletter that marginalized groups don't fucking read from this old white
Right.
woman.
She means
and
old
she
white
won-
liberals. Yeah.
Now keep
The
going.
only one on there is Simone Biles is a badass.
Yeah,
bitch.
absolutely.
You lost me with Kamala Harris. Even women.
Oh,
some
man.
of them are great.
How was
Then
she
then
on?
I wanted to see. Then we have Rachel
there we
Levine.
go.
And that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. I'm not going to get into that, but it is interesting that a lot of these people, when I was reading what they did, Melinda Gates, yes, Nina Garcia, yes, I get it. I'll even give you Kamala Harris.
No.
You know,
Dude, you believe this, Dave?
Yeah, if we got
well,
work to do. I
what
didn't
the
realize. I
fuck?
didn't
Yeah.
realize.
but
little weird.
what do you think is to what degree is this politics?
It's USA Today, though. Who the fuck's reading that?
Who makes these choices?
You know, Jordan-
Is,
you know-
is it a committee?
It's just a nothing. Remember
this
the
is nothing.
never-ending story, the nothing. What were they fighting? It was the nothing. And what was the nothing? It was just a place where there was no creativity, there was no thought, there was no imagination. And the movie ends with the kid having to use his imagination to restart the thing. That's what these things all are. The New York Times, all the World Economic Forum, all these things, they're big nothings. No
Yeah.
one, they don't really represent
Most of us who
anybody.
are living our
Sort of what
lives.
you said, yeah. Like there's no individuality to it. So it's just this generic, can we get peeps? Oh, that woman said something
Right.
about something related to diversity. Put her on a list. That guy chopped his dick off. Put him on the list as a woman. Like none of it makes any sense.
Well, how
but-
did we get to the point where gender
Yeah.
is the only thing a lot of people are talking about, as if it is the largest crisis?
Because
We're dealing with-
to me,
who-
when
who's-
we start focusing on that stuff,
Yeah.
it's like, well, on the news, the problems with the shootings and racism. So are those problems not as big as you guys make it out to be? Because if we have time to focus on this other stuff,
Right.
and do you want to put all these resources and the focus on that, the pronouns and all that shit? Well, I thought we had real problems over here.
Right.
Shouldn't we put out this fire?
Is it that somebody said, "Hey, we have children who have gender dysphoria, and their suicide rates are at least 32 to 50%.
Well, lockdown. added
That's
to
a
that.
disaster." And then you had a bunch of activists who said, "We have to stop this because there are people that feel like they're a different body and a different thing, whatever you want to call that."
Yeah.
Did it create an evangelical movement of these people that decided that's the only thing worth worrying about, and if you dead name anybody, they will commit suicide, and you're ultimately killing people? How do you have any idea of the origins of this, having been with Jordan Peterson and all that?
Well, first off, the Jordan thing's interesting because I had Jordan on my show for the first time in, I believe it was December. It was either December 2016 or January
Oh, wow, a
2017.
while ago.
So way back before he was just this little known
I had him
Canadian
on in
psychology
2014,
professor.
2015.
Really?
He's brilliant.
I was,
Really?
I was the first guy. That's why Rogan called me and said,
No shit.
that guy Jordan Peterson's great." I think I was literally, I might be literally the first podcast.
What was he even talking about at the time? Because
He
that
had
was kind of
just- he
before
had
the gender
just
stuff
been in the
kicked in.
news.
Yeah.
He had just been in
About
the news.
colleges? Because is that when he got released from
I didn't
his-
know. Nobody knew who he was. He was just an obscure journalist that my friend Hunter Motz said we should get this guy on.
We call him
because
Brain?
He's standing up to, I think it was 2014, 2015. He said he's standing up to this college that wants to censor him.
Yep.
And basically because he said he's not going to be compelled to call these people by their
Now,
pronouns.
B.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the fuck.
Now, B.
So I think you have the date a little bit off because
Yeah.
that was around 2016.
That's-
Because that was Bill C.
Right after that, I had
Now,
him-
Matt,
So-
imagine you said, Jordan, just give me 10%. I'll connect you with Rogan.
Well,
give me
I
10% for the.
I hooked.
He's not even thinking like
I
this,
hooked
dude.
Jordan
You
up
missed
with,
out on Rumble.
No,
You're fucked up
I
on
hooked Jordan up with Justin with my
Ed Brook,
agent.
and he's their biggest client. Yeah.
So you're welcome.
And that's why I get no love. but
Hi,
that's
Justin.
fine.
How are you?
Yeah.
I think I'm done with CAA. That's a different topic altogether. I can't work with these people anymore. I like Justin a lot. Justin's awesome.
Love Justin.
But I can't work with the machine anymore. Just this
Really?
endless suck machine.
Dave, what are you
paying
gonna
these
do,
people for
bro?
nothing?
It's like you
yeah,
and
you
I
know what?
are
I
the
got
same
great people. I got this
person.
guy over here. I got my producer over here. He does
It's like we're the
everything.
same person,
yeah,
dude.
Phoenix.
Yo, I just
Yeah.
had this exact same conversation.
Well, I just don't need these guys anymore. They're
Our agencies-
Justin is seriously an awesome dude. So
Smart
this is
guy.
not. I'm not talking about Justin.
But
at all.
also,
you may not need- you may not need an agent.
what would you say
Yeah.
you do for him?
No, they don't do anything. I just went on tour. Everything they did was actually a pain in my ass more than helping me.
Well, you may not need an agent.
Yeah,
you may
yeah,
be
yeah.
at a point in your career where you don't need.
But also the game's changing too.
Yeah.
Like, also that's an old model. Like back in the day, like movie stars and comics and stuff, they needed a lot of that stuff. And now, like, what you do.
You have access to everybody that you need. It's like I can call any comedy club and just be like, what are your dates?
Yes.
Oh, why should I give this guy money for
10% for calling
You
saying,
made
yeah.
a phone call? Jeez.
Yeah, for going, yeah, Dave, yeah, he's open to do it. Cool. Click 10%. You're like, wait, hold on. But it's an old model.
Get killed before I get out of town tonight.
Well, what CAA is good at if you're an actor is that they package deals, right?
Right.
So you're in the business. If you're with CAA, you're going to get first dibs as an actor on that script.
But B, I'm saying actors still need it, right? They need the role, stuff like that. But the talent that we have and like what we do, these different kind of, they really don't know what to do with it.
Social media mogul
when
now.
you have the talent that the three of us have, I don't see how you possibly need to work with anyone
Let's
because
take
it's
it
just
over.
like
Sky's the
freaking,
limit.
it's
Take
out
over
there.
the world, baby.
Anyway, Peterson, so it was about 2016. He was warning about Bill C-16. This is where they were going to compel speech. And that if you literally, accidentally, if you were walking down the street and you said, "Good day, ma'am," and it turned out to be a dude, they could, he was worried that what this bill would ultimately do is you would be fined or jailed. It's happening now. It's
Jesus
happening
Christ.
in Ireland right now. A teacher has been jailed because of this, for misgendering a student.
What?
And then, it's a little more complex than that. The school said, don't come back to school anymore. You misgendered this kid. Then he came back. Then the courts got involved. They literally threw him in jail. So Jordan was way ahead on all of this. So your question was, well, where is it all coming from?
Yeah.
It's hard to say exactly what that is. It's sort of like saying who's in charge of Biden. It's like who's in charge of the machine. You're asking me like the meaning of
There
life,
were some
basically.
influential professors, I think, that came out of Yale and different places, and then it just sort of morphed into.
And
this.
then you throw the big tech piece and the algorithms and what get clicks
Perfect
and
storm.
who they ban and all of this stuff. And it's just a system of control. That's it. You know what I mean? It just is. The gender stuff is complete nonsense. You want to chop off your genitals, that's fine. But this stuff with kids, and that if you now try to make sure, because the thing is, it's actually also very anti-gay. I think maybe we talked about this once over dinner. Like if you see a 12-year-old boy that's just effeminate, most likely he's just going to grow up to be a gay man, hopefully a functioning gay man.
That's what the literature says.
That's it. Or a girl who's a tom girl. Maybe she'll be a lesbian, but actually maybe not. We all go through phases and whatever.
But if you start confusing a young mind with this idea that you might be a boy or a girl,
there's going to be a lot of
Well, to have
doctors that
12
end up in
well, to
jail and
give-
a lot of parents that end up in
Yes.
really bad nursing homes when their kids are in charge of their lives and they realize, man, my parents had me chemically castrated, or when my brain wasn't even
That's what I'm
developed.
saying. Your brain's not even developed for that to make that big of a life decision. Like I always equal to when I was a kid. My favorite movie is RoboCop.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
great
Like,
movie.
hey, Dad, I want robotic arms. He's like, you're 12, dude. When you're 21, this can be a nightmare. But my dad was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Then I'm fucking 24, 30 years old. And I got these fucking robotic arms. Like, Dad, why would you allow me to do this? Like, that's what you wanted to do.
It does sound pretty
People
cool,
would be
though,
like, dude,
robotic arms.
that'd be
That
sick.
does sound pretty
That
awesome.
sounds way cooler. But anybody would be like, that's insane. You let this 12-year-old make that life-changing decision.
Yeah,
And that we're doing it. We're like, no, that's how they feel. It's
I
like
think-
they're 12. Dude.
Yeah, that's where I have a real problem, and I think it's worth fighting for.
Well, they also-
let children grow up, let their brains develop, and then let them.
Well, there should be a minimum age. Like, if you want to buy alcohol, you'd be 21. But if I want to chop my dick off, it's all. As long as my parents say it's all good, I can go do it.
Right. Well,
you can't do that yet.
It's sort of like
puberty blocker.
it's sort of like the stuff with voter IDs. It's like if you say you want voter IDs, that you should just have an ID to vote, which every country in the world has. We all know it's obvious. We don't have it here in California, which is why when I voted for Larry Elder in the recall, I literally took out my wallet because I was about to show the guy my ID, and he freaked out, like as if I was handing him a bag of cocaine. You know what I mean? Like,
Really?
Yeah, because they don't want to see your ID.
Yeah, they
here.
don't wanna see it.
But
Wow.
but yet you have to show an ID if you go to a freaking mini golf place so that they
Correct.
you don't steal the golf club.
Correct.
So it's like all of these things that we know are true and obvious and
Right.
simple. If you said to anybody, they'll say, if you want voter ID, it's racist. Well, it's okay. So somehow they're saying black people can't get IDs, which is insane and racist.
condescending.
Which
in and
that
of
would
itself.
be racist.
But so are there black people that are not getting on planes because you need an ID to get on a plane? So are we? And if there are, then
have an apartment or get a
Yeah.
car or
Anything.
Yeah, anything.
so
Yeah, I think
Oh, it
you're
drives
right
me
about
nuts.
those
It
rules that
literally
just
drives me nuts.
all of us, right, left, whatever, just go. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I literally can't follow this stuff.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is insanity.
But it really, like, the red pilling is just, it's happening. Like, it's happening across the board. I don't know if you saw this clip in the last couple of days that was going around of Woody Harrelson on Bill Maher's podcast.
No.
And basically, he's like so red pilled, like the government is awful at everything. Why would you want them involved in anything? Your health, your job.
Woody?
Woody. And he's sitting there. He's got no shoes on. He's baked out of his
great,
mind. Maher's
yeah.
baked, blah. But it's like, man, Woody Harrelson is making more sense than freaking Fauci.
But the
that's
problem
where
is,
we're at.
he'll be ostracized.
Yeah.
Bill Maher has kind of sort of been almost the
He's sipping some
been
red tea.
traded by red pilled.
He's sipping some red tea.
There are a lot of people that are trading his fantastic monologues
my
about the
favorite.
insanity.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be working on him tonight.
You're going on Maher tonight.
I'm going on Maher tonight to his
Now-
house.
now, did-
the podcast, not the,
podcast.
show. They've
Okay.
given me the boot on the show a couple of times.
Why is
but
that?
My gut feeling would be that I sort of was in the Bill Maher old school liberal thing for a long time, and then I kind of got to the end of the road. He's not there, so it might expose him a little bit too much. I don't know. I want to discuss it
He
with
might
him
be at
tonight.
the end of the road, but he can't say it. Or
He's a Hollywood guy. And by the way, that's legit too. He has built a certain life in a certain place and whatever. I would hope that he would be truly saying what he believes at the end. But he's getting there.
But,
so
but he
also might
has to
be-
play the game too, because you
Right.
look at a guy like Chris Pratt, right? Like they've really ostracized him. I bet
Just for
Woody
being
Harrelson-
religious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
him, all it was that he literally went to church. I mean, the shit that they pulled on Chris Pratt was insane.
People hate that guy
Insane.
now. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
That's
It's like
hilarious.
Because
for what?
his church, they kept saying his church was anti-gay, and it's like, well, wait a minute. Do you think Ilhan Omar's mosque does gay weddings?
Yes. It's
Do you
nuts.
think there's one mosque in the United States that does gay weddings? By the way, I'm not for
you're
forcing
just
mosques to
asking
do.
questions. You're just asking questions, David.
Yeah.
These are just questions, everybody.
You see why I'm not going to be on YouTube much longer?
I
I can't. There's
You're
nothing
on
I can do.
Rumble.
Yeah, we're on Rumble.
Yeah, I don't
We're-
think
you're a
we are
mogul.
either.
yeah,
we-
you guys had a good run.
Yeah, we had a good run.
You had a
It's
good
been
run. You
fun.
should be on Rumble. And again, I will, next time you come to my house, when I open up the door of the room with all the cash,
Yes,
I'll
yes,
say,
yes.
Brian,
You
This could have been yours. Just wet my tongue, just wet my beak a little bit, Dave. I won't apologize. I got my hat in my hand. I'm disgusted and ashamed with myself. And then Sammy the Bull comes up behind me and goes, we got to play ball. Otherwise, I got a problem. Yeah, well, congratulations.
It's good, it's
I'm going
good.
to fantasize about
It's
and then
good.
kick myself.
Honestly, joking aside, like I started Locals because I saw a problem with big tech. I had no idea if we could do. I didn't know what I was doing, and in retrospect, it's crazy that I built a tech company. I had no
Yeah, it's
idea
nuts.
what I was doing. I spent more time in the last 3 years working on Locals than all the other stuff that everyone knows me about, because building a tech company and getting investors and having to sit around those tables,
Full-time gig.
Zoom calls
Yeah.
every day for hours, repeating the same stuff.
Damn.
It was hard. I'll tell you one great story about the investor thing, though. So we had gotten a couple investors. Things were kind of growing. The numbers were looking good. But we knew we needed like one or two more to really give us some room, right? Some runway. So I'm at a meeting in Miami about a year and a half ago before I moved here. And I'm sitting at this table with like 10 big time investors. And I'm doing the same spiel I've always done. And finally, in the middle of dinner, I was like, I can't keep repeating this shit. It's like making me crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, do you guys see it or not? So I went on my Locals app, so that's my community, and I wrote a post, and I said, hey guys, I'm at a meeting with investors right now. Can you just give me your honest assessment of Locals? Be as brutal as you want, whatever you want to say. Then I send it out, it gets push notifications, so it shows up on everyone's phone. I got hundreds of responses in 5 minutes. I've never done this before. I unlocked my phone. I said to all the investors, just pass the phone around the table and take a look at the responses when I asked people about this product. And we got 2 major investors that night.
Oh wow.
That's a
Yeah.
fucking baller
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
baller.
And I didn't even look at the responses.
It
I
could've
was
been
just
a
like,
nightmare.
it could have been like,
Could've been a
this
nightmare.
guy's
This thing
freaking-
sucks.
Yeah,
with all
this
these,
guy's-
what's with these dick pics, bro?
It's a lot
And the
of
American,
dick
at least the American flag is behind him, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a patriot, but this is
Yeah.
outrageous.
So I don't know. So it worked. It worked. I guess,
And
you know?
locals was what exactly?
So Locals was my attempt at taking out Patreon. Because Patreon Patreon, which is the crowdfunding platform,
Yeah, I'm on it.
basically, yeah, you should not be on Patreon. Not only should you not be on Patreon for free speech purposes, our product is a million times better. You can live stream from your phone. You can get push notifications out to people. You own all of it. We basically build you the house. That's the way. That's
So
the way we
Locals
treat
is still
it.
a thing.
So Locals is now merged with Rumble, and we're the subscription side.
Yeah,
of
because
the
Rumbles
Rumble
has
product.
the
I could-
Yeah.
prescription side of which is Locals.
Yeah, so the two companies they are. It's sort of like Facebook. I don't want to compare anything to big tech, but
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram, they are now together, but they're still separate.
Did you
products.
hear Mark Zuckerberg on Rogan?
I did.
I was sympathetic to his
Yeah.
issues.
I'm not.
You're not?
God damn it.
I was.
Brian's
Like
always
both
like,
sides of the brain here.
dude, Brian's like, it takes a lot to run those companies. We have no idea.
Yeah, I'm a
daily.
soft
It's like,
guy.
fuck that dude, man. It's like,
You know what? I'm going to go slightly with Bryan on this one because over the years, as bad as Zuckerberg is on major things, an election screw, $450 million to fortify an election and a lot of weird stuff, and Facebook has been guilty of all sorts of stuff. When he's been hauled in front of Congress to talk about free speech, he's pretty good. You remember that moment when AOC basically was saying to him, and she's fucking
dude,
trying to be
don't
nice.
even
She basically was like, you're not censoring enough stuff. And he was like, well, it's not my job to censor things. I
That's not
believe
what we
that there's
do.
a marketplace of ideas. And she was trying to use the power
She
of
really
the
said
state.
that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an incredible clip.
were you about to defend
Incredible
her?
clip.
Brian,
yeah.
I will fight
I would
you.
never
You
defend
defend AOC?
I would
I'm
never
sorry,
defend
Dave.
her.
I'm going
I'd
to have
never-
to fight him.
I never. Hey, you.
I'm going to beat you up worse than that guy with
Hey,
no
dude,
legs.
You know what?
I'll tell you that right now.
Because he's in the room doesn't mean you're safe, and I'll come right at you.
Dude, I'm telling you, defend AOC.
All right.
I quit the show. How
I will
about that?
fucking.
How about I quit?
I will throw David on you, and then I'll beat you.
I got a torn ACL in my left knee.
you do?
I don't want to.
got a little injury.
Please don't.
But I'm
From
doing
all your
PRP
sports.
in there too. And
You
it's
are?
working.
That'll
man.
help, yeah.
I played full court basketball for the first time in 7 years last week. And
Really?
I freaking
Damn.
played great. I
So wait.
have to wear a crazy trap jaw,
So platelet-rich therapy.
Yeah, so they take your blood out,
Yeah.
they spin it in a centrifuge, the platelets come out, that's where all the juice, all
Yeah.
the nutrients are, and they inject it back in you. So you can't replace an ACL, but it strengthens everything around it.
Where can you
Basically,
do that? You can shoot it.
You can do
anywhere
it
in your
almost
body.
anywhere. You
Yeah,
can do it in
anywhere.
your back, you can do it in your knee, you can do it for your hair.
Your hair. It helps your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've always had good hair.
I had alopecia and I had lost a ton of hair.
Oh, and that's what.
Yeah, and then I was trying to find a remedy for that.
Hey, B, you don't want to try PRP for
Yeah, I do, man. Yeah, I do.
It's not cheap,
But I've
buddy.
never had good hair. Ever.
Hey, you know how good your hair would look if you just invested in
I got
Rumble?
5 more weeks of my
Yeah,
Invisalign.
yeah.
I got 5 more weeks of my Invisalign. Then I'm tackling my fucking hair. And I'm going to take a picture of David Rubin. I'm going to say, I want to look like that, please.
Do you find as someone wearing Invisalign that you're worried that other people are thinking you're wearing Invisalign?
All the time.
Yeah. Because a
All the
little
time.
bit here, I notice you're wearing Invisalign.
It's aggravating,
and
right,
you got
Dave?
that, but you have a great smile. What are you doing with it? Yeah.
No, because
You don't
now my
need-
teeth are very straight, but my
They're
bite
not,
was
though.
off and all that.
Dude, he's
the
had
bite.
them on for 19
Your
months.
Invisalign are waiting at the fucking dentist, and you
Yeah.
still haven't picked them up.
You know why? Because you can't have a show with 2 guys wearing Invisalign. Because we want
We got to stagger it.
It's a bit
listeners.
much. It's a bit much.
We got to stagger it.
both of us have that lisp. Really?
Now we're-
One's fine.
Here's
Yeah.
Dave Rubin. We've got Dave Rubin. It's gonna be Rumble. It's an amazing
This is, Brian,
platform.
this is Brian. Dude, this is the thing about Biden. I think Biden, he's trying his best. Biden's trying his best.
But DeSantis is the guy.
AOC is actually a very nice person. I like AOC. That's
Then
right.
you bring Mike Tyson on, and you can attack that.
Give me your assessment of DeSantis. What your predictions are. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
You're a guy who's got your finger on the pulse. You hang out with DeSantis. You hang out with all the who's who. Now, will DeSantis run, do you think? Does Trump run for sure?
Well, first off, on DeSantis, it will never get better than him. I really mean that. As a politician, I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he's Jesus. I'm not saying. I am just
But
saying, as
he's-
a politician in the American system, which is so freaking whacked,
Yes.
it will never get better than this decent guy who, when we talked about the age thing before, I think he turned 43 or
Yeah,
44 last
still young.
week. I've met the first lady many times, Casey. She's wonderful. They have 2 kids. He's a family guy. When I've spent time with him,
Rhodes Scholar?
when he came and he did my last tour stop with me. You did the one like a few days before, actually, in Orlando. So we went right to Orlando in Disney country, and we did the whole "Don't Say Gay" thing. Crowd was awesome. We're sitting in the green room, and it's just me and him for about a half an hour. And he just wanted to talk about baseball, actually. Like, he's a decent
He loves him.
dude.
He loves him.
Yeah. So he played
He's
baseball
like
in
a
college.
dude's dude.
He's just
I
a good
knew it.
guy.
He played baseball in college?
He played baseball in college.
Of course you didn't. I love him.
He likes smoking cigars, whatever.
He's a man.
So, in terms of just what you would want a politician, forget whether you agree with him on everything. He does exactly what he says he's going to do. I have never seen a politician like this. This Martha's Vineyard thing, What did
Hilarious.
he do? He said,
Hilarious.
if you send these people in, we are going to send them to Martha's Vineyard. Then the best part of the story, I don't know if you saw this, he got $12 million in the budget to do exactly this. It's in the budget. The Democrats in Florida, there's not that many, they all signed the budget. Then he does it. They're on Twitter calling him a racist. It's like, you morons signed the budget with the thing that...
But how great is it? How great is it?
No, it's
They're
the
like,
greatest
they're
story
like, we don't have
ever.
an immigration problem. The borders should be open. And then Florida and Texas and California have to deal with the majority of it.
Yep.
Go, oh, California would never do this, but Texas and Florida, they go, okay, you don't think it's a problem? You deal with it. This is what we deal with. You try it out. And then now they're like, holy shit, we got a problem.
But
It's like, this is what we're saying.
We're just saying that borders are reasonable. That's what we're saying. We're saying that allowing everybody to come over the border is not tenable. It's not possible. Nobody can do that. Somebody has to pay for that.
Wasn't there a guy with a funny skin color a couple of years ago with
Obama?
weird hair?
Was
Who
it-
that? That's the other funny skin color.
I didn't mean funny skin color. That was so racist. That sounded so racist. I thought you were trying to.
Now you really better get on Rumble.
Because you said weird hair, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not what he's talking about.
Other guy.
Yeah. Trump's
There was another
border
guy
control.
who used to
Oh,
say
Donald
you
Trump
just
with
have
the
to
orange
have-
skin, the orange
You
skin.
just have to have a border. That's what makes a country. But the best part of it, you're right. They send these people to Martha's Vineyard.
freaking out.
50 people. Obama has a 30-acre estate there. 30 acres. On the water.
Oh, he's balling.
Now, it's odd. He didn't offer them, I don't know, maybe
acres.
a quarter of an acre to put the people, and now they could have been killed by climate change there because it's right on the water. So maybe he was looking out for them.
a lot of that.
But these people, they are more resources there. They're freaking out. Chuck Todd goes on TV on NBC. They don't have it's an island. They don't have the infrastructure. As if all the border towns in Texas, they're just freaking rolling in dough.
They can manage
exactly.
it. Yeah, they can manage
Exactly.
it all. And then they send it to Kamala Harris's resident too.
Great.
So
It's just
outside
great.
the gate. So she has to look out and be like, holy fuck, man, this is not.
It cracks me up.
But that's why I'm saying he's so good. He's doing exactly what he said.
He doesn't
he was
allow
gonna
the
do.
news
Yeah.
to control the narrative.
No.
So when a reporter says something, he goes, hold it. No, you're not getting away with that. Hold on. And he mounts his defense that way, and that's what I love about it.
I did an event with him a couple of weeks ago called the Sunshine Summit. It's a big Florida Republican thing, so it's like an all-day event, and I was hosting it, and he did not allow mainstream press in. So the mainstream press is freaking out, and he basically said, hey, why would we let you in? You guys lie about everything. We're just not going to let you in. Wow. And it was like, yeah, he's just done. There's a game being played that we all know is fixed. It's like if you kept playing Monopoly with a friend who was the banker, and you kept losing, and you're like, man, I've been playing really well. And then you're like, oh, he keeps.
But a lot of people keep playing. Even though you know the French, you keep.
And by the way,
and then
I'm
you do
guilty
nothing
of that
about
too.
it.
We're all on Twitter, right? We're all on Twitter. We're all doing these things. So we're all in the game that we know is fixed. But he is basically saying, I will not play that game.
Well, I think that what has happened with our legacy media is it's very simple. Most of those people come from the same backgrounds.
Yes.
They go to the same schools.
Yes.
They are educated by the same educators. They go from the echo chamber of their cloistered, wealthy homes and their specialized
From their
high
mountaintop.
schools,
Yeah.
middle school, high schools, same values. And when you have a group of people in a newsroom that have read the same books, listened to the same TED Talks, had the same experience, the same reality.
There's no perspective.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And by the way, and Sam Harris said this a long time ago, I never forgot. He said, I don't have anybody in my, it was an admission of his blind spots. He said, I don't have anybody in my Rolodex that even smokes or has served time in the military or works with their hands. If you don't have that, that's most of America. If you don't have people that you're friends with that even listen to sports radio, those are the people that make this country fucking move, bro. Yeah. And if you don't know that, if you actually don't have those people at your dinner table, or you're not friends with people like that, or you're not interacting with those people, you're not gonna know how most Americans feel.
You're not speaking for the masses.
When you start talking about your pronouns, we go, I understand. I'm a compassionate person. I got way bigger problems, bro.
Well, what's
I
the
got
average
way
American
bigger
have? What,
problems.
$200 in the bank? Something like pronouns, dude. I'm just trying to get my kids fucking dinner.
That's it.
But then also going piggybacking on the media. So they've been doing this kind of like clickbaity stuff for how long? It really started with Trump, really picked up with Trump. Now with Biden, the right's doing a little bit. But look at the ratings. They can't continue to go at the rate they're going because all the ratings are fucking, especially the left, CNN, all it's tanking.
Well, look,
nobody's tuning in.
Biden has dementia. Do we all agree on that? Or something like dementia.
I
So I'm not
have
a doctor.
it on
I'm
good
not-
authority, Dave, that he had a stutter. and
Yes.
and he
That
has
yes.
and he has a stutter. So I would say that to push back.
No, it's normal when the leader of the free world shakes hands with an invisible guy.
He's
Constantly.
He's all,
always
thank
oh,
you.
well, thank
And people
you.
are
All
like,
right.
or they have to go walk to your left, stairs are to the
the
right.
thing about
That
Joe Biden was
story.
he was always
You can't be the leader of the
he was
free-
always kind of a classic Democrat and pretty moderate.
Biden?
But now,
and he was also tough. Like he's been through terrible tragedy.
Yes.
Kind of a scrappy, tough politician.
And now he can't ride
I know
a
guy
bike.
who
Brian.
I know a very
now he
smart
can't
guy who
ride a
worked with him.
fucking bike.
Well, he's gotten to an age, obviously, where there seems to be something, that,
I like how they're like, he's gonna run again. It's like, fuck, no, he's not.
But the funny thing is, they all are in on it together. When you talk about like they all go to the same schools, they're all in on the Biden thing together too. When Buttigieg or Kamala is like, yeah, he's going to run again and I'm going to support him, it's like, he's not running again.
We all know he's not.
You know something's wrong with him, but why are you all doing it? You're all doing it because they're all just trying to like rip the copper out of the walls at the end. You know what I mean? Like they're all just trying to get a little whatever they can get because they're not talented. These are not people that can do anything. Pete only has that job because he's gay. I always call him Gay Pete on my show. It's not because I have a problem with gay people. I'm married to one. But it is because he's the one I have the major problem with, actually.
I'm married to
I have a problem with him.
Yeah, that's
my real
I actually do
issues
have a
are
problem
start with
you.
him.
I hear
Yeah.
my girl talking to your husband like,
Yeah.
no,
She's
you
been very
want to get the
helpful.
Duna. It's the
the
it's the
Duna, that's
stroller.
you?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys screwed
Danny.
me on this
You're
Duna,
his
everything,
husband's like this.
Danny.
He does all the stuff that
Yeah.
my wife would do.
No, I know. He's on the phone with her. We got the Duna. We got the
great.
Dakatot,
It's great.
the double.
But if you're the left, back to Pete. So
Yeah.
you're gonna put Pete and
No.
Kamala Harris?
No, so think about it. Why are they all in on the lie? It's because Pete has no skills. He was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. I have no problem with South Bend or Indiana, but he had no qualifications or anything. They say, okay, you're gay, so you will be the transportation secretary. Congratulations. Rachel Levine was a guy his whole life, married.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he still has a wang or she, whatever. The point is, he or she or whatever it is not qualified to be the deputy health secretary. Or, like,
So when did she transition?
Kamala was polling at 0 in her own party when they put
The lowest ever. And then what's her name? Destroyed her.
Oh,
in the
Tulsi.
debate. Tulsi, who I
wrecked her.
absolutely
Tulsi
love.
Gabbard.
Tulsi.
Yeah, she's
Love
great.
Tulsi. Absolutely,
So-
my favorite debate of all time. Tulsi
So this is a
destroyed
guy.
her.
This was a man
Yes.
who probably felt like I have no problem with this. But if this is somebody who felt like a woman his whole life at the time, and then became a woman, or went through that whole thing, I'm not going to say anything disparaging about him.
No, but it's not about that. But it's not about that.
Realize he'd be in that position.
But you realize you are by accident because the way you were just worried about your own pronouns
Yes.
coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
As a comic and everything else that you
Yeah,
are. But I get it.
The way you walked through that landmine field,
Yeah.
which we all stumbled over there.
Yeah, well,
because we don't wanna
I'm
get
non-binary
canceled.
as a.
I don't see
You damn well better be.
I am. I go
Yeah.
both ways.
But my question is, to your point, like, is Pete the best for the job? Is she the best for the job? Or are they there for a reason? Because
They're there because they're there.
we're
because
woke.
They're
We're
there.
cool. Look. He's gay, and Pete's like, yeah. But how is he as the transportation guy? Not great.
You guys have these fine technical people working with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you hire them because of their physical?
Yes.
attributes? It was the hair. It was definitely the
Mark
hair.
Harley, his hair.
No, I only hired
got it.
Chin because he's Asian, and I assumed he was good with computers.
There's an implication
Yes.
like, oh,
And
you
Brendan
know what you're
assumed I
doing.
was gay, so
So
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah.
But the point is, you don't. This is what this.
Competence.
And you guys live in California where the entire machinery is run by equity now. So you will keep bringing in worse and worse people, and the machinery of California will collapse.
Yes.
It is in free fall now, but it will continue to collapse. And always the question is, well, what is that rock bottom? When literally you're hiring firefighters only because they're trans and they don't know anything about fire. Like, will it get to that point?
Is that true? Is that happening?
Well, there is some level of that.
Yeah,
because
there's
they
some
hire
level of that.
But I meant that one actually as a joke. But
it's like
Yeah.
some comedy venues that will only put on a certain amount of female,
Yeah.
trans, Asian. They won't put the best comics.
hilarious.
So if
Yeah.
there's a fire at your house,
Yeah.
imagine some trans. He was born a boy, turns into a female, and they have to carry my big ass out of the fire and can't do it.
And not
because
to
that
say-
fits their narrative.
And there might be an excellent trans firefighter, and I would love to chat with them. But if that is your qualifier on all
We're
of these
fucked.
things,
That's right.
and it's not just the physical things. By
No,
the
we
way,
need
Your
California to
heart
break
doctor-
off. We need to break off into the ocean.
California is going to have a problem because California had Silicon Valley.
Yes.
And Silicon Valley, a lot of these companies like Airbnb, et cetera, just went public. California got a $95 billion tax surplus as a result of that. So when these companies went public, and you got to remember that that Silicon Valley California was a place where if you had an idea,
Yep.
you could build a company around it and make a fortune. And that brought the best.
It's like the gold rush. It was
Best,
the gold rush.
brightest, most aggressive. It was a boys' network too.
Yep.
It was. Boys, for whatever reason, seemed to be drawn to engineering and software
Yeah.
and all that computer.
Guys
programming.
like things, girls,
Yes.
girls like people. It's just it's
Yeah,
just
they're
the
You can
reality.
say whatever you
They're-
want.
They're
there's a
entrepreneurs.
difference.
Yeah, they're
That's
risk
it.
takers. They take more risks.
So you had this. They revolutionized the way we communicate. They revolutionized pretty much everything. It's very interesting that the Newsom machine, etc., seem to have made it so inhospitable
Yeah.
to business that they have either left, gone to Texas, or found another place to innovate. Because you're not going to have, it seems, the same innovation. It may be that Silicon Valley is somewhat, at least, neutered.
well, think
might
about-
be
think
neutered.
about-
Dude,
it got-
everyone's moving to Miami.
Well, think it got so bad. Elon Musk took Tesla from California.
Think about it.
You know how big of a hit that is. Now, granted, there's a lot of other businesses that bring in revenue here, but still a pretty big fucking hit. And just optics wise, Tesla.
By the way, it's not just tech, although there's a million examples of people, they're all going to Austin and Miami. That's it. Remember, there was that tweet from Suarez, the mayor of Miami, when Keith Raboy, who's one of Thiel's guys, major VC guy, he was really frustrated with Cali. He sends out this tweet, and then Francis Suarez, mayor of Miami, he just wrote, "How can I help?" And next thing you know, you've got everybody moving there because
How
there's
can I help?
Yeah, and it became a meme.
you'll
It
love
became a
this.
meme.
You're not here, so you don't see
Yeah.
this.
Oh, God,
I
what
hope
now?
you see it when if you have a chance.
now?
Newsom's did a commercial, and he's like, "If you want freedom."
Oh, I saw it.
You've seen it?
I saw it. We played
Newsom
it on
going,
my
if you
show.
want freedom, California, we're about freedom. We're not taking your rights. We're all about freedom. You need to leave Florida. And you're like, are you out of your fuck? Who told you this?
Do you
was
know
a
how
good
many
idea?
people, you guys know how many people left Cali last year? You know, I know the number.
No.
You know, take a wild guess. So never before in the history of California had they lost population.
People are always moving
2020
here.
was the first time, net
Yeah.
loss of population. 2021 was the second time. Guess how many people?
Is it 100,000?
Oh,
350,000. But not only, it's not just 350,000 people, it's the people you were just talking about. It's these people
The
that
movers
are
and shakers.
massive
It's a
wealth.
brain drain.
Look at Rogan. I mean, Rogan's an interesting case because he signs this crazy deal with Spotify. So now he gets, I don't know, a couple $100 million probably.
He's so,
and then what?
He's so all in. He's never coming to LA. Like he's so all in.
Oh,
with
he's making me
Austin.
look like a sellout now
Oh,
just for being
yeah.
here with you guys.
Oh, dude.
yeah.
he
he'll
still
go,
tries to get us to come.
Oh,
He's
I'll
like,
talk to him when I leave
yeah,
here, and
yeah,
he'll go,
yeah,
"You still in that shithole?" I'm like, "Yep, I'm still here, dude."
He's like, hey,
Nothing
listen, I'm
changed.
telling you.
And think about it. The guy has, he's literally the most influential public person in the world, has the resources to do whatever he wants.
He's on
and
Time's
like,
top 50
I
most
cannot
influential.
live in California.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he can do, they could have taken half his money. He still could do more than basically everyone on earth.
100%.
And-
Well, it just
and
made
he's-
the math made more sense.
No, I know.
Like the taxes and stuff. He was like, I can go to Texas and say this much money. I make the. And now he's got a setup. Brendan and I were walking through a setup. And we were like, oh, we're failures.
I've told DeSantis, I honestly, he's laughed when I've said it, but I would be for Florida having an entry tax at this point. Now knowing that,
That's right.
because I didn't move
That's
there to
fair.
save money. I'm saving a lot of money, obviously, but it was not that. It was everything else.
Yes.
It was freedom, truly. But the idea that all these people come, and I think people are really coming and realizing what they fled. So when I'm walking my dog in my neighborhood and people come up to me and, oh, you're new, you guys live over there. I always say, number one, I just want you to know I am here to keep Florida. Because they say, where are you from? And when I say Cali, they freak out.
hate it.
Of course.
And they should freak out. It's like having a zombie infestation.
Well, it's because the people
Yeah.
leave California and then they still vote the same. That's why.
But I think that's
Austin
changing.
is basically super liberal and blue now. Austin super.
Austin
always
has,
been
Austin
liberal,
has a
but-
huge problem that is spreading throughout Texas. Florida to me is the truly safe one at the moment.
Agreed.
Texas will be okay, and Beto's a freak, and
Yeah,
they
Texas
just have
will be
to-
fine.
They just have to like get some cobwebs cleaned up or something. But
Yeah.
but this 350,000 people, good people, you know what I mean?
Smart people.
Phoenix, my producer, his family has lived in LA his entire life. He left. His parents are leaving. I took
Really?
2 companies out of here. Yeah, these are functioning. These aren't the people that are burning
No.
the cities down. These aren't the people that are causing all the
these
crime.
these are job makers.
Yeah.
Job makers and innovators.
Yeah.
And that was what California was about. And then you added sunshine, and it was like, here we go.
You know, my the house across the street from me is for sale, by the way. Right across the street, tennis
Miami.
court, really nice.
And
Can I get in on Rumble, or is it too late?
Well, I'll see if I can
And then I'm,
See what you could do.
I'd
You could
assume
be my landlord.
Yeah.
I'd assume the housing market's gone up there.
Oh,
though,
it's
about-
nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well,
nuts
Miami,
out
I
here.
love
It's
Miami.
nuts out here.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
Let's put it
love
this way.
Miami.
The housing market is so crazy that when I went down there, I knew I was buying a house. I was like, I've got to get the F out. Like, I'm buying a house. We saw about 20 places. We finally found one that we loved. It was off market. We agreed there. We agreed on the sale number. I didn't even negotiate. I was like, we'll take it for that. They agreed. We send them the contract. Half hour later, they write back. They said, we want 500,000 more. And we had to say yes because you have no leverage.
You have no leverage.
So that is one problem that Florida has, which is when you get this kind of influx,
Yep.
all of your services are going to be stressed. Your housing prices are going to go up.
course.
And I do have a lot of sympathy. And I want to figure out if I can do something. I've been discussing it on the show a little bit. I want to help the people that were the Floridians. I don't want the average Floridian who has been there forever and
pushed
done
out.
it right to be pushed out.
Yeah.
And I am starting to hear more and more stories about that. So, but in a way, I don't mean this as a good set of problems, but it's a problem because of something good.
Well, your property values rise as well. Then
Yeah.
you can sell your house for more and move to another part of Florida. But that's
not what you want. You want the average guy.
you
that
want the
lives in
fabric
his-
of the community there.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out something that maybe
Because
I can
Venice
do.
had that problem.
Yeah.
Venice, when I moved there in 1995, was people had been there for 30 and 40
Yeah.
years. And there was such a fabric to that community. And everybody had small houses and everybody just knew each other and supported each other. And that was so amazing.
It was also dangerous, though, B.
Well, a
in
little
95.
bit, but actually, no. So what happened by the time I got there was the RICO
I was there in
Act.
the
The RICO
90s.
Actor came along. So you're right. So in 1993, 92, it
was dangerous.
It was one of the most dangerous places, if not the most dangerous place. But what happened was with the RICO Act, they came and they came to these gangs and they go, hey, you're walking with that guy, but it's my uncle. I know he's in a gang. You're not allowed to be walking with a gang member because you're on parole. They would go to jail. All of a sudden, these gangs were like, bro, I got to hold down a job. I can't go back to fucking jail. I just did a 5-year stretch. I can't even walk with and it just totally disseminated everything. And then the cops really smartly, quietly said to the Shoreline Cribs and Venice 13, they were like, you sell your rock, do whatever you want. If one fucking car is broken into, we're coming down on you.
Yep.
If one drive-by.
The good old
and
days,
it was just
basically.
amazing. So
It's
they
back
really
now.
handed
The crime's
they did a
back
great
up
job.
there now, though.
Now it is, but
After
what
the
happened,
lockdowns, I turned
though,
into
but what
fucking
happened was when there was all of a sudden, Condé Nast said this is the number one place to live, and the secret was out. Everybody started moving in, and you had these tech guys. Then Google starts moving in,
Yep.
and my property, I bought a little house for 350 grand,
Right off Abbott.
right off Abbott.
Right there.
It is now worth 2.5 million.
But you sold it way before, right?
Yes, I sold it for 1.3.
Oh, you son of a
You
bitch.
sold it like in the last year or two? Because
No,
I remember
years-
last time I
sold it-
3 years
sold
ago.
I sold it in 2007. That's
Right.
no, my house now. I sold
Oh.
for sale. That other.
Oh, you
house,
still haven't sold it?
it's in escrow. So yeah,
Oh,
I sold it.
nice.
Oh, you should
But I'm
get a pretty
saying I
penny
sold
for that.
3
though.
houses in
Oh, yeah.
Venice.
Yeah.
And the price, the way it would just,
Oh,
it
yeah.
got so crazy. But that's
Yeah.
kind of what you want to avoid that with Miami, because then you're going to have just a bunch of new people and none of the old fabric.
No, you want every time I do an event in Florida, when I was on tour and just anything I've done there, I make a point of calling. I mess with the crowd a lot, and I always am like, where are the OG Florida people? I want them to get credit. They did it right.
Cubans, Dominicans,
yes,
all
the
those
Venezuelans,
awesome-
the amount of
the
Hondurans
best.
that I know now,
Yeah, it's
and,
great.
like, and they're all good. And
the
those
best.
people, they come, especially the Cubans and the Venezuelans. They know what they freaking fled.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
What makes Miami so amazing is that Latin flavor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nobody's in a rush.
I love that shit.
I
everything about it.
love Miami. I'd have a cocaine, bro. Tell you that right now. I'm addicted to things.
There's not a flat ass anywhere to be found. On
I
men
can tell
or
you,
women.
I've been there for about 8 months now. I have not seen any cocaine. I'm sure it's there.
Yeah.
I'm a
The
little
best looking-
I'm a little out of the
I would
game.
say
In the
best
circles
looking
I hang
people-
out in.
It's
Would you say the best looking people in
it
the
was
world?
voted the most beautiful people, fittest city in the United
Also,
States.
no shit. Whoever made that list, yeah, no shit. I've been there. Everybody has an
astonishing.
ass. Guys, gals.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fantastic.
It's astonishing.
Some of those women with those asses,
Oh.
though, that injection, whatever they're
That's
doing over
that
there,
Brazilian booty
that
thing.
thing.
That's
I'm telling you, I want to move there. I can't. I'd be out of control. I'd be like a Tasmanian devil.
Oh, yeah, it's
Just fucking career goes down the
it's too
drain.
much. My fiance now is like, "You going to where? Miami? I'm coming. I'm coming with the baby." I'm like, "Okay, no."
You guys can come with the
Now, if
kids.
I'm going to Spokane, like I'm doing this weekend,
Yeah, oh,
she's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"See you later, fuck
She
face.
knows there's
Enjoy that."
she knows there's trolls up
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Right, what do you get up there? Like some
White people
methed out-
with bad tattoos, no sun, vitamin D deficient,
No.
weird hairstyles,
No,
and sensible
the
shoes.
worst city I've seen like through the pandemic suffered the most was Portland, because
Oh, Portland's
I've
a
done
freaking-
Portland a
Ooh.
million times. I do Portland in the clubs downtown, and I do the meet and greets
Seattle
after. I'm meeting
airport.
all these people, and everyone I go, oh, you live around here? Like, oh God, no. They're like, we haven't been downtown in years, man. They're like, it's not safe down
It's
here.
zombie
Yeah.
land.
So this cop comes. I have a lot of fans who are cops, right? I'm super pro blue. So this cop comes and he's off duty, right? And he goes, yeah, me and my boys came to the show, man, big fans. And he goes, you're not going out tonight, right? And I go, me and my boys, we'll go to Voodoo Donuts, but I don't go to like bars or anything. He goes, don't go. And what do you mean? He goes, don't go. He goes, did you go by Voodoo Donuts today? I go, yeah. He goes, did you see the guy with the giant AR-15 there? I go, yeah. He goes, is that normal to you that a guy with a fucking semi-automatic weapon is guarding a donut shop? He goes, that's my area, man. There's been 15 shootings there in the past month.
15 shootings.
And he goes, fuck a donut.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll be fine though. I got my big guys. And I'm thinking Portland. I'm like, and I go, they don't have guns. He goes, oh, they have all the guns, dude. I'm telling you, don't go out. I'm like, are you shitting me?
Wow.
You know what?
And then you walk around, it's just homeless, and you're like, what?
It's
It looked like
Walking
Bane
Dead.
took over fucking Gotham.
Well, look, I saw you last time I saw you was doing my show in Denver, right? And that was about 2 months ago. Denver, we're not talking Portland, not talking Seattle, not talking one of these crazy Northwest cities. Denver was kind of a shithole.
Yeah, it was.
The amount of homeless encampments there was
Yes.
nuts. I
They've
mean,
had an influx,
that was
too.
of all the cities I went to, that was the most shocking. Because Denver, I think, is a beautiful city.
Amazing.
Oh, it's the
There's
best.
great people there. They've got a great comedy
People
club
were
there.
camped
I'm
out.
headed there
Camped
today.
out everywhere.
I'm headed there today, yeah.
And you couldn't get them off because of that law.
Bro, Dave,
Yeah.
how about the fucking, basically the purge rule they're going to pass in Chicago?
Oh yeah, incredible.
What?
You saw this?
Yeah.
You guys talked about?
No cash for no bail, cash bail.
There's been major business owners like, we're out, man. They're headed your way.
You know
Like,
that
we're fucking
something like 60 to 80 people get shot every weekend in Chicago.
Yeah.
Usually about a dozen people killed. We usually cover it on Mondays on my show, and nobody
this.
cares.
Think about that.
Nobody cares.
Gang on gang violence.
And
Well,
if
that-
you
that-
talk about it, you're racist.
You're racist.
Because
Well-
Hannity used to bring it up all the
But
time.
it's black on black crime.
No, so you're
So
racist.
those
Oh, so
black,
that
those
doesn't
black
count.
families,
It
those
doesn't
black
count.
families,
But my
and black people are trying to do the best they can, and they have kids going to school and stuff. They have to deal with that shit.
Oh, but
They have
but,
to
but
deal
the
with that
the
gang
south
shit.
side of Chicago, they refer to it as, I didn't, coin the term, Chirac.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I have a buddy who stays down there. We're gonna pick him up. The Uber wouldn't even cross over to get to south side. He goes, oh, we can't go in there. I'm like, we can just drop. We don't go near there, man. And then I go, well, fine. Can you just drop me off? And I get a taxi. He goes, taxis won't go to south side. He goes,
Because
it's too dangerous.
they get not only jacked, they get killed. Like,
But that was my thing with Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys march on the south side where people are dying every single day?
No, instead
you're gonna
they
march in
freaking-
Bel Air,
They literally marched down
Melrose.
down Ventura, where I
think
used
a
to live
lot
in
of
Sherman
people-
Oaks. I had people literally walking by my house screaming because they figured out that I lived there, screaming that, oh, Trump supporter, white supremacist, yelling at me. I'm walking with my husband. They're screaming at us like we're, literally
Really?
calling us homophobes and bigots and
Holy
racists.
shit.
That's when I decided. So I got the hell out of Sherman Oaks. I moved to Encino because I
remember.
thought if I go up the hill a little bit, they're not
Yes.
going to walk up a hill. These lazy motherfuckers. But then the whole place
I
collapsed.
like that house,
too.
by the way.
It was a great house.
God, I like
But
that house.
but now
Great. Trust me, I didn't want to go. You were there. Like,
You
I
got
could've-
pushed out.
Yeah.
They pushed you over.
They pushed you, but
They
now
pushed you
now
over.
Encino's
Yeah.
riddled with.
No,
crime.
I know. I'm going to Encino after
home
this.
robberies,
invasions.
home invasions. Yeah.
Well, wasn't it? Was it a Real Housewife or something? Right before I left, there was like somebody murdered in Encino, and one of
The Real Housewives. She got tied up with her husband.
yeah.
And then even shortly after that, the head coach McVay of the Los Angeles Rams was in vacation, and his house got broken into.
Yeah.
It's at I have the ring, and
Guys, have I mentioned Florida since we've been here?
I
I'm
know,
enjoying
dude.
these little anecdotes of horror, but
Yeah. But there's
Miami,
always
man.
Florida.
I
Well, it's
know.
amazing what good governance can
Yeah.
do, and it's amazing how quickly things break down when, and like overnight, how things turn into the purge if you don't have law and order.
But Dave never answered. Do you think DeSantis, who I love, do you
Yeah.
think DeSantis is actually going to run?
So look, my preference. I think the state you live in matters more than the country right now. I mean that in a somewhat like. I don't mean that in like that the country should just go to shit or we should.
No,
have
but
civil
local
wars or
politics
anything.
are more- they're
But
gonna affect you
yes,
daily.
and that's what federalism's all about. That's what the founders intended. That if you lived in a state, you would be able. You'd have that experiment going on all the time. We have high taxes here. We do this.
Well, it's kind of
You can
rain
move
versus
around.
row, right? It's state by state.
So that's the way
Yeah.
it was supposed to be. So on one hand, I'm like, man, no, I just want this guy to stay and keep solidifying this state, keep strengthening it. Let's get, the right people coming behind you, all of that stuff. On the other hand, the federal thing is so freaking broken, and it's coming for everybody. one of the things that I missed in August, they hired, what was it, 87,000 new federal IRS agents that are armed to go after people who make under $200,000. That's what the federal government is interested in right now.
But they painted it like they were going to go after the big dogs. They're not. It's going to affect the common.
But it's such a lack
collar
of
worker.
creativity. So the only answer is to raise money from taxpayers. That is one way to raise revenue, but it's not innovation. But
it's not a revenue problem. It's not a revenue problem. It's a spending problem.
Yes. Right.
There is no amount of money that will be enough. You could if you just had a fucking magic printing machine, which they do have, you could print $5 trillion. You could give it to everyone, and they would still say, "But we need more money."
That's right.
Because it's a spending problem. These people.
Then the larger it grows, the more it spends.
So my question for you, Dave, is: can DeSantis fix that, or is it unfixable?
So that's like
if I'm DeSantis, I'm staying in Florida.
I know.
If I'm DeSantis, I'm saying I'll run for president.
It's too easy. A guy like that's not wired
10 years.
DeSantis isn't wired that way.
Yeah.
I
don't get to his level being content with Florida kicking.
I know. Look, he loves the state. I think, and I cannot speak for him, so I have no idea on this. My gut feeling would be if he honestly felt that Trump could win, if that the machine would actually allow Trump to win, and that Biden is so compromised, and that we're in this Jimmy Carter malaise kind of thing, I honestly think he would probably prefer that Trump go in one more time, actually do a little bit better in terms of breaking stuff up, and that maybe he could come behind it. That would be my guess.
Well,
but
he's got all the justices. He's got a majority conservative justice in all the on the Supreme Courts, and that's a big deal. That's really a big deal.
I think that's more likely than not to happen because I think Trump is going to run just based off ego and has a good chance to win.
Do you think he's going to run?
If Trump didn't run, Trump says he's run. But if Trump didn't run, then I would hope DeSantis steps up to the plate. Because you don't want them going against each other.
No, you don't.
Why not do president, vice president? What are we doing here? You have his
possible.
number.
Yeah,
Tax him.
I think
I think
tax him.
I think you know what? It would be a bad move for DeSantis. DeSantis has been so clean and so good and clear that to take number 2 to Trump,
I agree.
Where you end up as some kind of neutered something, it doesn't.
Well, Trump's not going to listen to him.
Bad
you know,
he'll be invisible.
But Trump,
it wouldn't work.
Trump's ego is so out of control. He views DeSantis as like almost like it's a competition thing. So he wants to bury him.
No, there's definitely you guys do the fighting thing more than me, but I'm sure there's an analogy there of like you don't just like work with the number one guy, you got to take him out kind of thing. Like,
well, you don't want to take a future champion, and
neuter him,
break him.
Yeah,
exactly. You want to protect your future champion.
Yeah, we don't put the young rising prospect in the.
It all comes down.
It
all comes down to independence. And DeSantis is a guy that independents will vote for.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down
to. But if Trump was just like, and he said this before, the White House is a dump, whatever he hates doing, it's just an ego thing, so, which is hilarious. Yeah. But if he was just like, I'm out, I don't want to deal with this, DeSantis, he's the guy. Boom, we're off to the races. That's the smart thing to do, but that's not happening.
Well, look, the other side of this thing is that Biden's not running again. He's not.
No,
there's
not
just
yet.
Who are they going to? Who is?
So they're going to throw
Newsom.
So it's probably
he already announced.
They are so twisted.
He announced today.
People. Well, did he literally? He basically said
his exact words were, "If Biden doesn't run, which obviously has to play the fucking game. If Biden doesn't run, I'm going to announce my candidacy."
Think about when I tell you he is a soulless lizard person. He has destroyed everything he has touched, except made his family money. So they've got the vineyard, they've got all the houses. He's got a lot of wine. I get it, but he was the mayor of San Francisco. If you think the way Venice was destroyed was precipitous, then what he did to San Francisco, he should be in jail for. And then he just exported it to Cali, and now this guy has the freaking. No, because
this is what's crazy.
People are not well.
This is the NFL analogy. It would be like having a quarterback throw 17 interceptions, then someone going, "I like this guy. Yeah. Let's get him on our team," and he's still throwing fucking interceptions.
Yeah. But guys,
they keep put him in the Pro Bowl.
But guys, it's also the LA Board of Supervisors. It's the Board of Supervisors that have so much power. The LA Board of Supervisors, 5 women. It's the View. Yeah. 5 women are handling $38 billion. I think it's a budget of $38 billion. Bring up the LA Board of Supervisors. You want to talk about where the real power sits?
This
where the
Sheila
real power
Cool woman?
sits?
Is that what we're doing right now?
It's with these women. If you want to talk about all the COVID policy, all the things you have, these are the women who have a hell of a lot of power. Hell of a lot.
So one of the women
those women, they run LA. You want to see the people who run LA? Right there.
They're handsome.
They're very
let's leave.
very handsome bunch
let's
of
leave
dudes.
looks out of it. They're all, but
I just said they're handsome. There's
I'm
nothing
just
wrong
saying,
with that.
That right there is who runs LA.
So the one, go to the first picture you showed with the woman in the green in the middle. So that is a woman by the name of Sheila Cool. This is a woman who, she was the deciding vote when they decided to close outdoor restaurants again. Remember, we had that little moment where things opened up. People felt good for 3 days, and then they're like, "Well, come
Shut
get
it back down.
You know what she did? You guys must know this. She was the deciding vote to close outdoor eating, but the edict didn't kick in for 24 hours. So what did she do? She goes eat outdoor at her favorite restaurant in Santa Monica, Italian restaurant. I forgot the name. And it's like, man, you are the epitome of
the worst.
evil.
Let me
so
say-
is Newsom.
She's under
How about Newsom
investigation.
at the French
French
Laundry?
Laundry, yeah,
And
yeah.
then his kids being in private school and they're playing and they don't
I'll
have
take
masks
you to
on.
Let
French
me-
Laundry, by the way, now that I have all this money.
I
see
love
if I'll
you for
take
that
you
because
there.
I'm
I've never been. I never had money.
well,
But now,
I've
Well,
been
hey,
there.
fellas,
Let's go.
it's
And
good.
I'm taking
Yeah.
you up
You're
on
going to have
that.
to wear a mask, but yeah, go ahead and go.
No, well, French Laundry,
Masks are
we gotta do
required.
that.
No.
In fact, I'm trying to get in there for my. I'm going up there October 6th.
let me see what I can do.
I would love that. You've got a lot of power. Just buy me a table there. But the
But
one
doesn't
thing, the one
Newsom
thing about
his ownership in
that
that?
group of
Yeah,
women,
yeah.
and it's very interesting.
talking about you talking about the lady that looks like Tom Arnold?
I love my mother, but the fact of the matter is that if women like that don't have a balance of some male energy
Yes.
or some other energy in there. Well, my mother wouldn't let me. My mother would like me to be in a golden cage. My mother would like me to not go out of the house and stay in a golden cage.
It's the Fauci syndrome.
And you have to be safe.
Yes.
And, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get shit for this, but in fact, long COVID, the vast majority of cases, I don't know if you guys know this, but the vast majority of cases of long COVID are middle-aged women.
Probably middle-aged liberal women because they do tend to have more
I was
psychological
going to say
problems.
it's
Yes.
usually middle-aged, white for
Yeah.
the most part, educated.
Crazy. Yeah. You forgot crazy. Yeah.
They suffer from things like fibromyalgia. I'm not saying that's not a real disease, but the numbers are very interesting.
Right.
That they sway toward chronic fatigue and long COVID. So there
What about the
might
cold
be
hand
some.
ones? That one always freaks me out. You know
Yes,
the cold
there might
hand
be
ones?
some. There
Yeah.
might be some
Yeah.
hysteria there.
Yeah.
If we don't have somebody telling my mom, I love you. You want to take care of the world, but Mom, you can't be the nurse to the world. I'm going to play football, or I'm going to do the sport, and I don't give a fuck. And if I die, I'm gonna fucking die.
Well, you don't want anybody passing laws where if they get a paper cut, they're fucked.
You need a mix.
Like, we don't want that.
You need a mix. You need pushback.
I just want to. I can't remember. Did I mention Florida during this conversation? You guys are pull up the picture one more time. You guys are
Florida-
governed by
I
these
know.
5 crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, those are your
Yeah.
women. These women have these women have power over you.
A lot of power.
These women can
You're so
decide
fucked.
whether you guys can.
You're
I'm
riling me up,
they can.
Dave.
I'm sure they mean well. They're good women.
Oh no, great.
No, they don't mean well.
No,
Yeah,
but they're
yeah.
just controlling. And
You're giving them an outbeat. They're
they-
fucking
Hold
bad
on,
people.
They're the
I got-
librarian going, shh, that's all.
I'll do a philosophical one for you because I
Yes.
know you like that sort of thing. If they mean well, so let's
Yeah.
grant them the mean well, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, fine.
Yes.
But if you keep doing it wrong and the results of all of those things, even if you mean well the entire time, are destroying other people's lives, at what point does a guy like you who is trying, I get what you're trying
Yeah.
to do, and I used to do it.
Yeah.
At what point do you go, it simply does not matter anymore?
Because what's
whether
the
you mean-
definition of crazy?
I agree.
What's the definition of crazy, B?
100% saying that I think it's out, that we need to get them out of there.
Yeah.
And that that if you want to change politics, start there.
Yeah.
If you actually want to change the way this city itself or the cities like San Francisco and San Francisco, the city council, they don't even have a Democrat. They're all socialists.
Right, they're
And I'm
like
not kidding.
full-on
They're all
communists.
full on
Yes.
communists.
Yeah.
And you don't have a Democrat.
No.
Yeah.
So if you actually are serious about changing the landscape in your city, you gotta attack where it matters. You gotta take out that. Those are the knees. Those are the knees
So
you
is
gotta
there
take out.
any evidence, and this was part of my calculation in leaving, is
Yeah.
there any evidence that anything is turning around?
So they
No,
would tell
not
you
at all.
this. They would
Not
tell
at
you
all.
this. They would say, and Gavin Newsom would say, and he will say, we have a tax surplus, guys. I mean, we're flush. We're making money. And then they'll point to a whole bunch of stats. Now, of course, there are lies, damn lies, and statistics. You can play with statistics. But if you look at the amount of money they were making off, there's still the legacy of Silicon Valley. There's still that crazy tax bill. So they're going to be like, what?
Right.
What? And you have to know how to fight them. You have to know exactly what their talking points are going to be and be ready for that.
Yeah, but
And
B,
I-
so your state has a surplus of money,
Yeah.
and then they want to defund the police. Well, crime's never been higher.
but again, let me go through this. So
That's not insanity to you?
So you have
Maybe
in
I have to
Sacramento.
stop working on him. You're coming to Florida.
No, I'm coming to Florida. I want to.
Dude, you didn't see it. I bought my ticket
No,
as we were talking.
I'm saying that Gavin Newsom is a symptom.
I'm your new neighbor.
Gavin Newsom is a
I can
symptom.
get you in the
You're gonna.
house.
I'm your new neighbor, dude.
Full court basketball.
Yeah, I'm
court,
in.
Like,
I'm in.
I want in.
Wait till
No.
you see my basketball
I'll be the
court.
pool boy, bro. And I just show me where the money is.
You're not coming over to
Let
Rumble,
me take
Bryan.
care of the money. I gotta make sure rats don't chew it up. Let me just take it light. Sure. I gotta dust. I'm just dusting the stacks.
Yeah.
I'm dusting stacks. But I'm saying that Newsom is a symptom of a Democratic supermajority
Yes.
in fucking Sacramento.
Use their mouthpiece.
How the fuck did that happen? How did we get literally when I remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger, they had these Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's Republicans, he's going to take over California. And they had these experienced reporters, political reporters, California guys have been there for 40 years. And every one of them went, it was on NPR, they all went, no, I know there's a lot of enthusiasm. It's going to be very difficult for him to get anything done, meaning he's not. And then I talked to Schwarzenegger. Then I had dinner with him.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo and I were doing this movie, and he goes, my friend's coming, you'll like it. Schwarzenegger shows up with his assistant. I'm like, I get to
friend.
hang with him.
Yeah.
And I just read a book on California politics by Michael Lewis called Boomerang. He wrote The Big Short and all those. And so I was able to talk to him. Schwarzenegger said to me, he was talking about how there was a water shortage. And all he said was, he goes, I know how we do this. There's a water shortage, but I'm looking at the numbers. The farmers over here don't need that much water.
The almonds.
Just get them to give us the water.
freaking
It's almonds.
Just get them to take less water.
Yeah.
Just, and we'll take that water and bring it over here. No big deal. You're not using it. You're not using that water. So let's just bring it
Not
over
that
here.
easy, Terminator.
The senators came in. The senators who were Republicans, they go, listen to me, you don't know how it works. We can't go to our district and say you don't get more water. I won't get reelected. They'll use that against me.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good idea. So what we're going to do is you're going to make a speech, and you're going to say that. You're going to say that, and you're going to get credit for that.
And then we're going to do
get
nothing.
behind you, and then we're going to do nothing.
Yes.
And then what we're going to do is we're not going to do that because we're going to have to we're going to stall it. That's how politics works for him. And he said the biggest thing, the hardest thing was how little power he actually had.
Yeah.
What a motherfucker it was to get anything done.
Well, that was when I was campaigning with Larry Elder for the recall, and Larry's a good buddy of mine. That his main concern was, okay, even if this miracle happens, there is almost nothing I can do. You can do a few things by executive order, but that he's a libertarian.
Not
That's
with a
how
Democratic supermajority.
By the way, there is a place with water. It's called Florida. Have you guys ever been there? I think you'd really dig it.
The
There's
Everglades.
There's
A lot of
literally
water up
water
there.
everywhere.
The Everglades.
Sometimes too much water, to be honest.
I went python
it rains a
hunting
lot.
there. I know all about it.
B, I got to
know all
catch
about
a
it.
flight, dude.
All right.
My flight's at 3:30.
Dave Rubin, you're always awesome, man. I just love seeing you. You're my buddy.
This
and
is very exciting because I feel like I did work here with you guys.
Yeah,
today.
you did.
Really with him, though.
You guys should come too. I mean, everybody should come.
The whole
You
squad.
had Richard Lewis on. How's he doing?
Can I tell you, it was one of the nicest moments of all the guests that I ever had. So
Legend.
I've loved him since his first HBO
Super legend.
special. I think you remember the young comic specials on HBO,
remember him.
like 1983. He did the one that Seinfeld made his TV debut also. He crushed it. People remember Seinfeld from that.
he killed
He
it.
freaking crushed it.
I have a mother. She calls me up. Is everything wrong?
But at the end of the, he's a big germaphobe. That's the thing on Curb that he's always doing with
Yeah.
Larry. At the end, this is in my house. I walk him out to the car, and I said, Richard, I just want to thank you. I've loved you forever. And he's a big germaphobe. He doesn't like touching people. And he went like this. You got it, kid.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
I was like,
That's
pretty
a
cool.
big deal.
Pretty good.
And you touch my face now.
And now I touch your face.
I got some. Now I've been.
and
really,
you don't
now
want
I've
to know
been
whose
red
face
pilled.
I touched before.
I've been.
Now
yes,
Brian's
I
going to
do.
vote for DeSantis.
Now I'm
That
red
was the
pilled.
last
Yeah,
one.
that's
That
what
was
we
the- I
needed.
didn't need to touch his face.
No, I'm in.
He's
dude.
going to his 98-year-old grandmother's funeral.
Yeah.
Ringing
she's
in,
98.
wear that green suit.
Yeah.
What a pleasure, man. I love you, buddy.
Now I'm going to go
You're
bang up Mar. You guys warm me up. Now I'm feeling.
Now
like
you're ready to
sharp.
go.
You know what I
Ready
mean?
for
Hopefully, we
some
give you a
more.
little pep.
awesome. You ready for some more? Tell Mar.
And
We'd love to have
Dave,
him on.
you gave me pep. I'll be in Boston next Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
There
I'm
you
in
go.
Boston, Laugh Boston. That is almost sold out Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then San Jose is October 13th through the 15th, San Jose Improv. Salt Lake City, Wise Guys, October 20th through 22nd. Then Calgary, they just lifted the mask and mandates in Canada. So October 27th and 28th,
just now.
Rooftop, Calgary, downtown. Tickets at thickboy.com.
I'm going to be in Spokane, Washington, starting tomorrow. September 22nd, Friday, Saturday. Then Tacoma, Washington, Tacoma Comedy Club, September 29th, September 30th, October 1. Bridgeport, Connecticut, Stress Factory, October 13, 14, 15. Schaumburg, Illinois, Chicago Improv. And my special, Man Tears, is on YouTube. Check it out.
Dave, we love you, man. Keep crushing it.
I'll be counting my money tomorrow during the dinging of the bell.
You motherfucker. You lucky motherfucker.
Maybe we'll see you,
You guys-
over
you
at
guys are
Rumble,
awesome.
man.
You guys are
thanks,
awesome,
brother.
bro.
Thanks,
For
man.
real.
Dave Rubin.